Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, April 20th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $, ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. It's Happy Easter 2025. And on top of that, it's WWE WrestleMania 41 live reactions for night number 2. And I can't freaking wait. We're going to get started here in roughly 3 minutes. So everyone get all your snacks and your drinks and settled in. And for the next 4 hours, we will be entertained by the best of the best. Let's freaking go. And on the thumb, you know I had to hit you with the champ. Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. And on the right, it is the heel, John Cena. Let's go, baby. I am ready. Buenos dias, buenos tardes, buenos noches, vamos maneros. I ended up watching the game over at my family's house. Dylan Moore and Cal Raleigh with home runs right out of the gate. Pretty awesome to see. I hope you enjoyed that matchup. I got a chance to watch it. Big series win against the Blue Jays. We won 8-3. And again, we have the day off tomorrow. I'll probably do Monday Night Raw tomorrow. And then we start a little road trip against the Boston Red Sox. And I will be live at 3:45 Pacific for the Mariners and the Red Sox on that particular day. Let's go. I am ready. Get settled in here. Get all my screens set up. Sarah in the building, what's good? Anna in the building, what's good? Oh, man, I'm glad I got home just in time. You know, I got a chance to, eat a little bit of food, spend time with a little bit of the fam. Took Paisley for a long walk. And obviously, you know, I got a chance to make the thumbnail right in time, get all the tags. I'm not as rushed as I was yesterday. Mariners got a huge win with Castillo on the mound. Cal Raleigh leading the MLB in home runs. I would say that the torpedo bat is working. And not only that, the Mariners are trending up. And in about, a week, maybe week and a half, 2 weeks, we're going to be at the very top of the division. That feels good to say. And we'll see where it goes. And I'm really excited, for some of these matches here today. We're going to have a couple surprises. Are we going to end up seeing Solo go against Randy Orton? Could it be Aleister Black or Rusev? We're going to find out. And obviously Lyra Valkyria, we know that she had a pairing with Bayley. They dropped her out with a fake injury. And more than likely, we are going to see Becky Lynch, I would assume. Some people are rumoring, maybe AJ Lee. I find that not very likely. I think that if we had to choose 2 females, I would probably go Nikki Bella and I would go Becky Lynch. But Becky Lynch would be the one that I would say is the favorite to be wrestling with Lyra. So I can't wait. And obviously the crowd will pop. I assume that we're going to see Travis Scott, The Rock, Paul Heyman, and Seth Rollins here today, maybe with John Cena at the end as Cena gets the belt. Sometimes you got to sell your soul, to be able to be champ. We know that Seth Rollins doesn't need Paul Heyman's help, but we love that outcome, especially me and Sarah. We're big Seth Rollins guys and girls. We're going to root for him all the way, from the very beginning, with the Tyler Black all the way into the Shield. And then now, obviously, finally, Seth Rollins going heel. And Seth is good enough, to be able to be on top of this company. And Roman had it for a very, very long time. But don't you for a damn second think that Seth cannot be the face of this company. A lot of us know that he is the modern day Macho Man Randy Savage. And even though he got overshadowed by the Hulkamaniacs and Hulk Hogan for part of his career, no one can deny that Macho Man was one of the greatest of all time. And the same thing goes for Seth Rollins. As we see Cody Rhodes get out of the bus. And I can't wait to be able to see what we get here today with Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Let's go. Odin in the building. What's good? Becky, Alexa, or Natty? And then obviously Becky, AJ Lee, and Nikki Bella were a couple other ladies that you could have put into the mix. And obviously Becky, Alexa, and Natty. Those are three, individuals that we could see thrown in the mix. Are we going to see Randy and Solo? Are we going to see Randy and Aleister Black? Are we going to see Randy and Rusev? Are we going to see Randy and someone that, just doesn't have a match at the moment, like a Sami Zayn as kind of a left curve? I don't really know where we're going to go. But again, I'm definitely very excited here about night number 2. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm excited to see how this all plays out. And again, we were able to predict, some of the things that ended up happening, obviously in night number 1, but there was some things that we didn't predict, like Jacob Fatu beating LA Knight and being champ and getting the gold. To me, that was the sleeper match, obviously besides the main event, which was the best. There was a few matches that could have been better, but let's be honest. The crowd on a scale of, 1 to 10 is like a 0. And again, if the crowd was into it like the European crowd, even some of the lower matches may have been an 8, and then everything else would have been a 9 or a 10, even if it's not your favorite wrestlers. But it shows you when the crowd isn't into it, and it's a bunch of rich people that just don't really care about wrestling, and they're just there, and again, they may be fans, but they're not hardcore fans. And again, it shows you the difference between the passion of the Canadian crowds and the European crowds and the American crowds. And even the best American crowds in New York and Chicago are nowhere near a Canadian crowd, regardless if it's in Montreal or anywhere else in, Toronto, anywhere in Canada or anywhere in Europe. It's a different vibe. And yes, I understand they don't go there as often, but you hear the chanting, you hear the cheering, you hear the creativity, and everyone's involved. I mean, we barely hear, any type of pops, throughout the whole stadium. And we know the stadium is big. It's Allegiant Stadium. It's where the Raiders play, right? But with that being said and have it being so open, I don't think any of us anticipated the crowd being so shitty. So hopefully, besides the main event, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and then you're going to hear the Cena sucks chants. You're going to hear that. But what about the other matches? And hopefully we get some energy with Io, Bianca, right? And who? Rhea Ripley. Hopefully that will kind of give us the start point. But again, I just hope, that this crowd will wake up a little bit. But again, I just feel that, it's more of a sit and watch for a lot of these rich people instead of really getting immersed, into the PLE. Sarah in the building, what's good? Odin in the building, what's good? Lenny D in the building, what's good? You guys want to drop some predictions on who we think Randy is going against, as well as who Lyra Valkyria's tag partner is? So I'm thinking Becky Lynch, and I'm a little torn with Randy's opponent because, I could definitely see it being someone like Solo. That seems like it's very plausible, right? But it could also be somebody that just got, back with the company. But again, you want to make sure you're having some, kind of repetitions, and you're going to have, a little bit of chemistry. And since, Rusev and Aleister Black were in AEW, I'm not saying that they can't put on a good match with Randy, but it makes me kind of curious if they would go with an AEW, WWE guy coming back and then just putting him into WrestleMania, or, putting someone like Sami Zayn or Solo that just doesn't have a match and putting him in with Randy Orton. But you guys comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Happy Easter, everyone. And I feel bad for Bayley, getting pushed out of the match. I feel bad for Rey Mysterio yesterday, even though Rey Fenix filled in, as we see Stephanie McMahon making her way to the ring, looking beautiful as ever. Happy Easter and 420, everyone. And man, I can't wait to see what happens here in night number 2. Hopefully the crowd will bring a little bit more energy. You're starting to see a little bit more signs in the background, so that's a good sign, and we'll see how it goes. Nick Aldis would be great too. That's obviously rumored as well. I like what Lenny D's got cooking here, because Nick has been rumored, and that's been a rumor for, how long? Like over a week and a half. And then obviously Aleister Black and Rusev could be an opponent that could be, one-on-one with Randy, and we'll see how that actually plays out. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And we'll be shooting for 20 likes before the end of the program. We got 4 hours. We'll see if we get some people to come through and hang out. And obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. Man, the WrestleMania stage is great. Like, why can't they cheer like this? They can only cheer when Stephanie's out there with the pyro. Like, I want to be able to, feel the energy, and everything that I enjoy in life really comes down to, with dreams and goals. But on top of that is passion. I want to be able to feel the energy. And again, I feel the crowd let us down. As many people that are there, they could have been better. And I'm hoping that they'll bring a little bit more energy here today. And obviously you heard the crowd get a little louder, for like the main event. But overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, it was like a 0 or a 1. I was very disappointed with the crowd. And it could have made the overall vibe for us at home so much better. But overall, I don't know what you guys would grade night number 1. But to me, overall, a little bit of a disappointment. This is WrestleMania. This isn't just one of those, filler PLEs. This is supposed to be the Super Bowl of wrestling. And, I think overall, I love the ending with Seth Rollins and everything else. But I feel like if I had to be honest, with the crowd being not really hyphy and lively, I think I would give probably night 1 overall, like maybe a 7.5. And I don't know if I ever would have thought that I would give a number so low for Mania, but the stage, 10. Main event, 10. But I loved LA Knight and Jacob Fott too. I thought that was a solid, 9 or 10. But everything else, was kind of hovering, either around, an 8 to a 9 or maybe a 7 to a 7.5. Could have been a little bit better. Let's go, EO. Let's go. And we're starting it off with a bang like we did yesterday. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and the champ, EO Sky. And obviously, if I had to go down the pecking order, EO retaining would be great, but I don't know if that's in the cards. Ripley is amazing. We know what Bianca can do. It'll be very interesting to see how this goes. I mean, they're booing Bianca already, so it's like, she can go for a natural heel turn. Seth is going heel. Bianca can go heel. It might be a little shocking to her that the fans turned on her, but Ripley, obviously, we know is one of the best females in the biz. And EO, for being kind of an underdog, like a Daniel Bryan, so to speak, as an undersized wrestler. Pretty cool to be able to get a little bit of gold and a little bit of shine. But I'm still waiting for my girl Asuka, and I'm glad that EO is able to take the gold for now. But I want Asuka to stay healthy for the rest of her career so she can have her WrestleMania moment at least once before she retires. She fucking deserves it. Out of all the females, she is so uber talented, and it just almost makes me sick that she hasn't been able to have a Mania moment yet. But hopefully she will before she retires. And I know I'm not the only one in the room that feels that way. Let's go. Matt in the building. What's good, brother? Might as well watch it with us here from the beginning instead of coming in late. Should be a pretty good WrestleMania night number 2. And plus, not a whole lot going on. A little bit of NBA, a little bit of MLB. A lot of games are already wrapping up. NHL as well. And I'm glad the Mariners ended up getting that big dub against the Blue Jays, winning that series. Demo and Big Dumper Cal Raleigh hitting home runs in the first. Got a chance to watch that. And Big Dumper leading the major leagues in homers. Let's go, baby. Oh, and I talked to Reefer this morning, and he was busy with some other obligations. But it sounds like he'll try to swing through tonight. So hopefully we'll be able to have Reefer join the party here as well. All right, Bianca up next. And Reefer was celebrating Laos New Year, and so obviously he didn't even get a chance, I feel, to watch WrestleMania live because he was, doing some things with family and whatnot, and ended up watching the replay late last night and early this morning. So hopefully everything with that will be completed, and we should be able to have him in the room at some point as well. Yeah, because I was a little shocked that he wasn't here yesterday. I gave him a heads up, and you know how Reefer is. Normally he's going to be here for every PLE. And, but again, he's got to take care of the family stuff. I get it. and hopefully he'll be able to hear to be able to enjoy night number 2. Happy Easter, everyone. Let's go. Crunk in the building. The Crunk Skunk. Shadow Play from Ireland. What's good? Can't wait to be able to watch this WrestleMania night number 2. Any predictions that anyone wants to throw down? Anything wrestling related, drop it in the chat. Like I said, we can talk about old school wrestling, from the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. You want to go over this exact WrestleMania 41, based on who Lyra Valkyria, his opponent. Obviously, we already know who those are going to be, but who's going to tag partner going to be? Is it going to be Becky Lynch? Is it going to be Nikki Bella? Could it be Alexa Bliss? Who will be her partner? And who is Randy Orton going against here on WrestleMania 41, night number 2? And I kind of like it that we have 2 surprises, even though we kind of have an idea, where it might be Aldis. It might be Aleister Black or Rusev coming over from AEW and signing with WWE. Maybe it ends up being someone that's already on the roster like Solo, or possibly someone like a Sami Zayn. Like, you don't really know for sure. But I feel like with the Lyra Valkyria, they kind of did Bayley dirty, but it sounds like, and it kind of feels like, it won't be AJ Lee. I feel that's way too much of a wild card. I don't think she's really expressed a wrestling comeback. But with Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch, that seems a little bit more realistic since talks are starting to heat up with the Bellas. But I feel like Becky Lynch is the answer. But who knows? Maybe it ends up being, Alexa Bliss or one of the others like Natty that's already on the roster. But I think Becky Lynch would be great, because it would be, if you're going to drop Bayley out of it, you might as well make it a worthwhile surprise. And I think if Becky comes back, she'll get a good, nice pop. Not just because she's with Seth, but just overall, I think we miss her, regardless if you like her or not. So that would be insane. And, I think that only a few people really understand Cardona's journey, from being in WWE and moving on to different federations, and then obviously with Chelsea Green and everything else. But that would be a big wild card. And now we got Rhea Ripley. Look at the costume. I love it. See, this was kind of what I was hoping for with the War Raiders, even though they were playing off, the video game. I wanted something a little bit more authentic with the gear. And I feel like the War Raiders gear wasn't up to par with the New Day. And I was a little sour, that they did the War Raiders so dirty like that. But New Day had the gear. War Raiders did have the belt for quite some time. And now we're going to get a new era of the New Day. But when it's WrestleMania, we want to be able to see the best gear. And I felt like, they kind of dropped the ball, even though they were, doing a Clash of Clans kind of, vibe and whatnot. But, they could have had the ring gear be a little bit better for the Viking Raiders, in my opinion. But the New Day gear was phenomenal. It was a little mix of like the Barbarian and then Hollywood Hogan NWO, black and white, with the pants that he would come out and wear with the black and then the blue lightning on the side. It had a very cool look. I don't know if they're going to wear those just for that event only, probably. But I thought those, pants and gear that the New Day wore were so cool. It almost makes me want them to wear it like every week. I know they probably won't, but I love the color combo with the blue and the black. It looked awesome. And I love this look by Rhea Ripley. Again, she's a one of one, the emo goth look. No one else looks like her. Nobody else wrestles like her. Nobody else talks like her. And this will be exciting to see how this plays out. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I had my choice right here, even though I love Rhea Ripley, I think EO retaining would be, I don't know if I want to say best for business, because obviously Bianca's great and Ripley's great, but I think EO retaining would be awesome to have her WrestleMania moment, as the true underdog, even though she has gold around her shoulder. Ooh, Paige. Yeah. I've seen a couple interviews of Paige recently online as well. Yeah, New Day as faces was getting stale. As heel, much better. It's kind of crazy that Bianca Belair normally gets cheered no matter what. But with these other two ladies that she's going against, like, she's, booed more than the other two by a lot. Like nobody really boos Ripley. And I feel like Io is kind of a, like a lovable anime character. She's such a tiny wrestler, but a high flyer. But again, if this was in the Vince era, I'm not sure if the crowd would be pulling for Io, but again, she's not really the prototypical female champion. But in this Triple H era, anything goes. And I kind of like it. I mean, I'm not sure if she's going to have it for that much longer, but it would be awesome for her to have her moment. Still waiting for Asuka to have her moment, too. And we don't have too many of the ladies that are high flyers. Obviously, we know Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, and Io. And I don't know if you guys ended up seeing the post show that Charlotte actually busted Tiffany's teeth out, and then she had to go and get emergency dentistry, and they fixed her teeth. But they were like caved in if you ended up seeing any of the interviews. And then if you saw main event Jey Uso on the mic, that guy was drunk. Man, he was lit. As soon as he won the gold, he started drinking in the back. And you could definitely tell with the interview that he had at the end of the night, he could barely put two words together. It was hilarious. And shout out to my guy, Oos, main event Jey Uso. And here we go. Bianca, Ripley, and Io, the triple threat. Let's go. Oh, there we go. You get a slap. And we're going to get some really dope double team moves here in this particular triple threat. I can't wait. Because again, one-on-one, Bianca and Io doesn't give you the flair, but now you add Ripley to it, and now you have something really special. Not saying that these two ladies can't handle one-on-one, but adding Ripley to the mix really does make this so much better in a triple threat. Also, with the chance of Ripley actually winning, and actually, in my opinion, I think top to bottom selling moves. To me, I think Ripley is the best female in the business right now. But again, everyone's going to have their favorites, based on the mic, in the ring, selling, move set and whatnot, and unique look. But, that's what makes it so much, it takes it to a whole nother level when you have someone like that. I definitely think Mariah May is coming to WWE. She already mentioned that on AEW she doesn't want to re-sign. So, and she was with the Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, had a nice little photo with her. Or with him, excuse me. And I do think Mariah May will be joining WWE at some point. I mean, the female division, and again, I was talking about it with family too, how much better the females have gotten in college hoops for basketball and as well in wrestling in the last 20, 25 years. It's incredible to see the athleticism that the ladies have now compared to the ladies back in the day. Not to say that Lita couldn't do it. She could definitely wrestle in this era for sure, but it's not about looks anymore. You have to wrestle, and a lot of the wrestlers can definitely fucking wrestle. Facts. Io with the hair. Yeah, I definitely want Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in WWE as well. They dropped the ball with that. But Toni Storm is amazing on the mic. And, and she may not have the same prototypical look, but great gimmick. Double pin, 2. But Toni Storm, if you watch AEW, is fantastic. She's by far the best thing that they have cooking over there. Since Dr. Britt Baker held it down for quite some time. Not really sold on the whole Mercedes Moné thing. I think she's a little overrated, and they can give her all the gold in the world. I don't think she's that good of a wrestler, though. Like, I don't think she's that good of a talker either. Like, I think that she's a good piece for AEW, but I don't know. It feels like, it feels like some of the other wrestlers, like she can be the top dog over there, but if she was in WWE still, she wouldn't be the top dog. She might be in the top, 7, of the ladies, but she's definitely not at the top. in my opinion. But she has a skill set, but I don't know. For me, it seems like she's lost a little bit of the swagger. I mean, she's got the gold over there, but I mean, let's be real. AEW doesn't have a whole lot of competition in the women's division. Good fast start here in this matchup here with Io Ripley and Bianca Belair. Ozumi. Stardom is dope. I know a lot of people, don't go above and beyond and watch that or NJPW or, Impact or any of the others, ROH, and just trying to get involved. But there's a lot of talent all over the place. And then obviously they, getting Vikingo and, getting with the Mexican, AAA there and being able to get some of these other Lucha Libres involved. And then they'll have a crossover event, which will be pretty cool. Nice athleticism by Bianca there. Nice speed in this match to start it off. Nice. Do it again. Do it again. I love it. I love it. Where's this Bianca been? Here we go. I like it. And the kip up. Okay. I like it. I mean, the best way that even if they don't like you and they boo you, that you can't hate on athleticism. Even if you don't want Bianca to win, you can't hate on her when she shows how athletic she is. It's awesome to see. Oh, nice little double team there. Great energy so far. Crowd much better than obviously to start off. And I know it's a big stadium. And hopefully we just get high energy, and you want to make sure you're starting off with a bang. But we'll see matches 2, 3, and 4, how they end up after match number 1 here with Bianca Ripley and Io. But I'm liking the energy so far here in match number 1. Oh, let's go. And you're already seeing moves that you typically don't see out of these 3 ladies on a regular basis, whether it's inverted double team moves or kind of going above and beyond. It is Mania. Let's go, baby. 2 more likes to be able to get to 10, and hopefully we'll get a few more people to come through and hang out with us here tonight. I mean, we got 3 hours and 33 minutes before this one ends. Good energy. Good counter. And I love the diversity in WWE. So much talent from all over the globe. It's just incredible to see. Oh, shit. Get out of here. Oh, good counter. Nice. Much better pace, much better moves, and a lot better of a start than, again, main event Jey Uso needs some, practice on the mic. He's definitely not the most skilled in the ring. Gunther is boring to watch, but we know he's a good wrestler. But, theme music, gear, he just doesn't really do it for us. If you're going to have a big guy, obviously Drew McIntyre is it. But this one is much better pace and wrestling for match number 1. Obviously, you knew that main event Jey Uso was going to win since they started him off in the first match because you don't want to have the crowd boo, obviously right out of the gates. But the energy is a lot better here on night number 2 with this match. Here we go. Watch it. Watch this counter. Ooh. Where's Bianca? There we go. Just got to be careful that no one lands on their head here, We want to do the moves, but we don't want anyone to die. Oh! Good sell. I love it. Yeah, this match is a billion times better than main event Jey Uso and Gunther, and it shows you females can do it. Just because the dudes have a certain position or a belt doesn't mean that they're going to be more entertaining. And, let's be honest, this could have main evented on, one of the nights. I mean, I get we had the Roman and the Seth and the CM Punk, and obviously we have John Cena and Cody, so we can't really have anything main event. But if you were to choose another match that to main event, it's definitely this one. No doubt about it. Like, if we didn't have two big, min matches as big as they are with Cena and obviously Cody Rhodes and then the triple threat, if that wasn't on the table, this definitely could have been the main event for day number 1, for sure. Oh! Like, it kind of felt like the Charlotte Flair. Yeah! It felt like the Charlotte Flair and the Tiffany Stratton was a little, big body check, but it felt like they weren't really in line chemistry-wise. Like, I think there was a lot of anticipation for that match, but I felt like it didn't really live up to the billing. I'm glad that Tiffany, retained, but I felt like something was missing. Like, they... maybe it's just the natural hate for each other, but, I don't know. It just didn't really feel like move-wise that they were in sync. It got better as the match went on, but early on, it was a little sluggish. Ooh! Bianca showing the athleticism, even though she knows she's the heel and getting booed already. Oh, Ripley. Oh, baby! 2. Man, this is great pace. This is going to end up being a 10 right out of the gate. And that's exactly what you want, right? You already know Cody Rhodes, John Cena is going to be a 10. And then we'll see with Travis Scott, The Rock, right? Not only Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins at the end to make it, like an 11, but you want to have other matches as big as the Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And you're watching it right here. This is incredible. I mean, besides the main event yesterday, this match right now, already up to this point, is better than anything that we saw yesterday. Sleeper match, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, loved it. This one is better. And obviously, we already know what happened at the end of night number 1. Sometimes it's just the right combination of athleticism with the wrestlers, people that are well-liked, and seeing the diversity. And all 3 of these ladies are so different from each other, but it works. Big kick. And obviously, EO being so small and tiny, Bianca and Ripley can go above and beyond and do, bigger moves rather than if Charlotte was in the match or Tiffany Stratton. Oh, my. Look at this. Oh, my. What do we got here? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Rock the baby. Oh, good counter. Oh, countered. Holy fuck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. I was going to say that KOD was very clean. What a match. What a match. This is the type of energy that we needed from the crowd, and again, I feel like certain wrestlers, we have a relationship with and we can appreciate the greatness. And then some, we know they're good, but it just doesn't really, work for everyone. Incredible. 10 out of 10 right out of the gates. This is awesome. And literally based on the pace, I don't think anyone would really, even with Bianca being booed, with all the promos, since she's flashing her athleticism and everyone's going so quickly, I don't really think there's a wrong answer for a winner. Now, obviously we have our, particular favorites that we would like to win, but, when you end up wrestling like gods, on WrestleMania on the stage, then it's like, okay, whatever happens, happens. Like, where has this intensity and this chemistry been? Great physicality. And some wrestlers pair up with others better. Not saying that Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair don't pair up well with others, but this is a hell of a lot better match than that was. You get an athletic wrestler, you get a tiny athletic wrestler, and then you get a powerful all-around wrestler. I mean, it just really fits. Oh, Bianca to the floor. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I like this. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, he caught her. Oh, she caught her. Oh. Oh. The Poison Rana would have been insane. Oh. Oh, KOD countered. Man, this is insane. Imagine if the event was like this. Oh, nice headbutt. If it was like this yesterday. This match is a fucking 20. This is actually one of the better women's matches I've ever seen, if I'm not exaggerating. This has been amazing for Mania. Uh-oh, here we go. Bianca. KOD. Oh! Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. And Ripley gave it her all. Bianca gave it her all. And Io has her moment. There is not at the end of when we actually go back and if we rewatch WrestleMania night 1 and night 2, we might be talking about this match being the best match of the entire weekend. Holy hell. It was fast paced from beginning to end. No slow points. No points for the crowd to get bored. That was fucking incredible. And it reminded me of kind of like ECW, kind of fast paced, with like RVD and Sabu in their prime, and it's like you want to be able to have that intensity. You want to see some originality. You want to see some double team moves. You want to be able to see the athleticism. And that hit on every single thing for every single woman that was involved. One of the best female matches, not only on Mania, but on any PLE ever. That was fucking incredible. Wow. It's Io time, baby. And I'm so happy she got her moment. Let's go. My cousin. Let's go. I love it. And the thing is, it's like she's kind of like the Daniel Bryan. She's undersized. People love her. She doesn't have necessarily the yes, 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 no, 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 or team hell no kind of gimmick. But again, she's very lovable, for being an undersized wrestler. And amazing to be able to see her be able to, go against people like Bianca and Ripley and to come out on top and keep the gold on Mania. And every lady gave it her all. I mean, again, as far as intensity and there was no botched moves in that entire match. And it was so fast paced. Usually when you go fast, sometimes someone fucks up. And that's incredible. That match is so good. I want to rewatch it. And I mean, that's not something that you typically say after you just watched a match. But I definitely will be rewatching that match after, we're done here. That's going to be the first thing that I do after I come back from a 45-minute victory walk after Mania night number 2. I'm going to cue it to that match, and I'm going to rewatch that match again. Holy hell, that was awesome. And I will be doing Monday Night Raw here for a live stream tomorrow. Mariners have the day off, and anytime you have a, obviously a Raw after a Mania, there will be some surprises. So I will be doing Monday Night Raw here tomorrow at 5 o'clock Pacific. Can't wait to be able to see what ends up happening the rest of the way. And that some of these matches are not going to be like that. And, to go from a 20 to start off, not just 1 to 10 rating, a 20, like one of the best of all time. And they're going to be talking about that match from years down the road. Like this is the standard of a triple threat match, men or women. And again, let's be honest. We've seen the men in a triple threat not be as good as that. That's incredible. I don't even know what to fucking say right now. I'm in awe. That match alone made up for the shitty crowd from yesterday. Like that got me fucking going. Wow. Incredible. And, each lady has a very unique moveset, and some are going to be, liked a little bit more than others, but that's how you fucking open up WrestleMania. That's the Super Bowl of wrestling. That's the pinnacle, the best of the best. And having Io retain, I mean, I'm speechless right now. Incredible. Incredible. Yes, agreed. Stephanie, Io, Julia, Oscar. Yes, yes. Grace and Jade. Yep. Wow. Instant. I mean, how many times can we say an instant classic? I mean, we usually say that in Super Bowls, NFC Championship, AFC Championship game. But when's the last time that we said, hey, this is an instant classic? I want to rewatch that. Not often, you know. Wow. I mean, sometimes we'll have big moments like Seth Rollins yesterday, you know, with everything that happened. But to me, and I know you guys, you know, watched this with me, and, you know, some of y'all were watching maybe somewhere else. But out of all the matches, you know, over the weekend, that was the best one. And again, so for anyone that thinks that females can't wrestle, go back and watch that match if you didn't. And, you know, you'll understand why, you know, the females are on the up and up. They have come such a long ways from the diva era to where we are at this point in 2025. Man, like, even if you end up having some matches that kind of fall a little bit short, the energy that match brought, I mean, I guarantee everyone in the back, they're like, oh my God, like, you don't realize how good you guys looked. And obviously they can congratulate Io, but you got to give a lot of props and a lot of love to Ripley and Bianca, even knowing going in that they were going to lose, but to be able to go that hard and that smooth and that fast, you know, for 20, 25 minutes, incredible. I'm in awe. Wow. Amazing. Great start. Great fucking start. And again, you know, as we go down the road, you know, we've had amazing matches, you know, with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon on the ladder match. You know, we have Rock obviously going against Hogan. You know, you always have these like moments from Mania. And, you know, I think down the road, we'll be talking about the Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman swerve. You know, we're going to be talking about John Cena, Cody Rhodes at the end. But if we're actually talking about just wrestling, not necessarily storyline, this is going to be one that we're going to be talking about for years to come. And I don't know if we're ever going to see a triple threat on that level and in the near future. And if we do, maybe it will be those three ladies again down the road. But I don't even know what to say. That was awesome. Now, just imagine if we could have matches like that on the regular. Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm in shock right now, you know, because again, I've been watching wrestling. Well, like some of y'all in the room, I've been watching for 40 years. And out of all the triple threats that I've seen in ECW, WCW, WWF, WWE, you know, NJPW, ROH, Impact, you know, going through AAA, all of them, it's going to be pretty tough to find three other females that have put up a better match in a big PLE or pay-per-view than that. Incredible. What's match number 2? Normally, match number 2 is going to be the worst match of the PLE. What are we thinking that we're going to go next?
So a degree in Dutch poetry would make me more qualified.
Yep.
A zoology degree?
Yep.
Metalsmithing.
Yep.
Poultry science.
Yeah.
So where are we going next? Are we going to go Logan Paul, AJ Styles? Even though I don't think that's going to be bad. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre? That could be the second match possibly. Or do they go for, I don't think they'll go female match. They're going to save the Liv Morgan and obviously the Raquel Rodriguez with Lyra and maybe Becky Lynch for later. So if you're looking at the matches, and they're probably not going to do the Penta Braun, you know, Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio Fatal 4-Way second. Like, where do you go next? You got to go Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, or AJ Styles, Logan Paul. I mean, based on typical, you know, Triple H method of madness. And I don't even think that those matches necessarily, you know, AJ Styles and Logan Paul have the athleticism. So they, you know, will put on a show, you know, like LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. That's the similarity, you know, based on that match and the match that we're going to get today. Athleticism, Logan Paul, athleticism, AJ Styles. So really, and I love Drew, and here we go. It is Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. I had a feeling. Because again, and normally that'll be the match that might be the most underwhelming. And no disrespect to Damian Priest, you know, but again, if Drew had a better opponent, he wouldn't be the second match of Mania. Facts. It's like I feel with Drew and Damian Priest, they needed a third person to make it better. Fuck yeah. It's my boy, my favorite big man in the business, Drew McIntyre, period. Drew deserves better. Drew deserves gold. And again, he held it down for COVID with nobody there. I hope that he ends up getting gold in the near future because there is no big man in wrestling that's on his level on the microphone or in the ring, period. Now, there's a few guys that are exciting on the up and up, like Obafemi, who I am really excited about, but Drew is a true one of one. Yeah, KO isn't a big man, though. I mean, Kevin Owens is has a stocky build, but I don't consider him, he's not Kevin Nash or, like that. I'm talking about that, like as far as he's not Undertaker, Kane, because that's what Drew is, is a big guy. Kevin Owens is thick, but, he's not necessarily big. It's not Kevin Owens isn't, 7 foot tall. Kevin Owens ain't 6'8". I love me some Kevin Owens, but I wouldn't put that in the same category, Lenny. You feel me? I mean, if you're talking about like kind of like bigger, like maybe not the traditional look. I mean, I love me some Kevin Owens, but I'm talking about like height for big man. Undertaker, Kane, Kevin Nash, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, like, those type of guys. Because it's not only what you do in the ring, it's mic skills. And to me, Drew McIntyre, you could argue, might be the best big man on the mic that we've seen in 20, 30 years. There's not very many that have the, ability to express, certain types of things and be believable and without even trying. He's very, very good verbally on the mic, and he's believable, and nothing is forced out of him. Nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it all comes natural. He's awesome. Love me some Drew. Oh, Eric Rowan, definitely underrated. Oba versus Braun versus Jacob. Oh, gods. Dude. Yeah. Could you imagine? And if you ended up watching NXT Stand and Deliver, go back and watch it. Trust me. You're going to see some athleticism there, especially in that main event with Oba, Trick Williams, and you know who, baby. There's some people that are going to be up on the roster on Raw and SmackDown pretty soon. Depending on the right time and the right place. And again, after seeing Bobby Lashley and Sheldon Benjamin, go over to from the Hurt Business to the Hurt Syndicate in AEW, I want to be able to see a few more brothers besides the New Day kind of get a little bit of love and a little bit of pub. And again, sometimes you have to move on and you have to go to another company. And Omos hasn't been on TV for a year, even though they had him for a little bit. But Obafemi, I feel like that's like, he's got the it factor. He's got the look, but he's also got the skill set. I can't wait to be able to see him on the main roster on Raw or SmackDown whenever that happens. Oh, I love me some Brody Lee. Did you see Brody Lee's son in one of the lower, obviously, federations? Ended up making his wrestling debut. Let's go. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, it doesn't mean just WWE, it could be many, many other things. And I try to keep the pulse on everything that I'm doing. Oh, he's ripping it. Sweet tats, too. Man, what a start for WWE WrestleMania 41, night number 2. And I was just kind of thinking about big men as well. Does anybody else miss Brock Lesnar? You know, like, again, you know, I don't need to see him with Paul Heyman. I know he's not the greatest on the microphone, but just the aura of Brock, you know, I kind of miss him. It's been a minute, you know, and obviously what him and Vince did, you know, obviously it's not acceptable whatsoever. But I don't know. Are we ever going to see Brock Lesnar back in a WWE ring, or is that just done? Is he just going to be with Sable, you know, in, you know, Minnesota and Canada in some farm, you know, just, you know, plowing different fields? And are we ever going to be able to see him back in WWE? I don't know. It's just like when Roman was in the bloodline and he had the belt for like 3-4 years that felt like a million. And then it was like, gosh, this is never going to end. And then as soon as he left, we were like, damn, we need Roman back. And sometimes that's how it goes when you have that aura and that vibe. Sweet entrance here for Damian Priest. And a thing, you know, Judgment Day is no longer Judgment Day and like the cool thing without Ripley and Priest. They were the ones that made Judgment Day cool. Gangrel. I love the Brood back in the day. You know, I mean, everyone, you know, the Ministry, you know, everyone's got kind of a vibe and whatnot. But the Brood was so special at that particular time, you know. I mean, the Monday Night Wars, the Attitude Era, WCW Nitro, ECW with RVD and Sabu. Sweet, sweet entrance. Why is night number 2 so much better than night number 1? Like, I feel like it's almost night and day, and the crowd finally woke up. It's like the whole crowd was dead until like the main event, and we already have like that energy flowing through our veins after that triple threat. That was one of the best we've ever seen of all time. And now, what a great intro here with Damian Priest, and on top of that with Drew. Hopefully this will be, you know, this is a lot to live up to right here, because again, you already, you know, had maybe arguably one of the best triple threats of all time. You want to make sure that you're at least fast paced, so that way people don't get bored in this match here. You don't think there's a chance ever for Lesnar to come back? Like, never? I mean, fuck, if CM Punk can come back, why couldn't Lesnar come back? I don't know, man. I don't know if we can say never. Feels like in WWE, anything can happen. I don't think WWE needs him. I mean, of course, they don't need him right now. We're at the peak, but I mean, there's an aura about Brock, you know? We've never seen anybody like him before. Oh, nice elbow there. And we got a poor man Scott Hall here and Damian Priest. And we got Drew McIntyre, one of the best big men on the mic and in the ring. And hopefully, I'm not really worried about Drew in this match. I just want Priest to be able to hold his own and go above and beyond. And if he can do that, then this will be a solid match. I don't know about a 10, but it could be a solid 8 as long as Priest does his job. And again, having a stipulation with this being street fight could take it to that level. If it was just regular, you know, maybe a 7, 7.5. But street fight, this has a possibility of being like an 8 or a 9 now. Nice suplex there on the outside. Oh, MJF would be awesome. Great talker, too. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We need one more to get to 10. And then we need, there we go. We're at 10 now. We need 10 more to get to 20 before the actual event ends. And I hopefully we'll have a chance to get to that point. And obviously we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Yeah, too bad Bo Dallas ended up getting hurt. I would have loved to see the White Six in WrestleMania. Get the tables.
270, too empty. Every shot takes so much out of their opponent. There's a big lack.
I feel like night number 2 is going to be a hell of a lot better than night number 1. Like we might, we might only have like one match that underwhelms the whole night.
This guy's gonna have to get his hands up, or he's gonna keep eating steel stairs until he doesn't remember tonight. Can't block that over the spot. You just have to leave humanity at the door to question on who's prepared to.
But with Liv and Raquel, if it ends up being Lyra and Becky Lynch, just the fact that Becky is back, the crowd will pop, and then it's just a matter of keeping the crowd engaged. And, Logan Paul and AJ Styles are going to do some athletic, crazy shit. So that'll give you that energy, just like the LA Knight and Jacob Fatu match as well. Oh, selfie. That was giving me like Tyler Breeze vibes. Remember him? And Fandango. Oh, nice chair to the fucking head. Well, of course I know exactly what went on with Vince and Brock. Yeah. But I still think, the hardcore fans know, that about Brock. But I feel like if you're an average fan, I don't think they know that,
Two of them being set up for a nice two-piece right here in front of us. Drew McIntyre sticking. We got Smile and a Pristo with the right hand. And another one, McIntyre teetering on the apron. Above the tables now. Damian Priest, a headbutt Costco kiss by McIntyre. Good to show Damian Priest had too much durability. McIntyre taking way too long setting those tables up, and he's lucky he got out of this one, catching Damian Priest with that last reaching kiss. Stop taking the Scottish victory laps every time you get the job back.
Oh! Show me your favorite big man that could do that. I don't see Undertaker doing that, Kane doing that, Kevin Nash doing that. My God, let's go. I mean, obviously no one really liked the Brock Lesnar 2-minute squash matches, but just the simple fact, if we're really being honest, there's some people that are wrestlers and there's some people that could do MMA, but again, Ronda Rousey couldn't wrestle, but Brock Lesnar, could actually do both and hurt people like for real. And that's what it made it so believable, that, he's a wrestler, but again, there was that intimidation factor. Obviously couldn't talk on the mic. That's why they had Heyman there, but he's a rare specimen. And obviously being a wrestling champion, going up in the ranks and, middle school, junior high, high school, college, actually being a legit champion. The only thing that was really lacking was his mic skills and whatnot. But I'm curious to see if that ever will, be anything. And I'm also curious if Brock wants to come back. Maybe he's fine with just being done, But again, it's not like he would be a full-time guy anyways. He'd be a part-time guy that shows up once in a while. But it, like you mentioned, it's not like WWE needs Brock Lesnar. It's more like Brock Lesnar needs WWE if he wants to get back on TV, but it may not happen. And how is Sable still with him? Sable's just like, I'm okay. It's like, you cheated on me, but you're Brock Lesnar. Oh! Get that chair off you. There you go. 2. And I think that like Brock Lesnar isn't everyone's favorite, but I mean, I think that we can all agree that we've never seen anybody like him before. Like legit, believable, like, you know, could like really hurt somebody. Like for real, not like these playful like half punches where their hands are open. Like, you know, someone that actually could wrestle and hurt you. Someone that could go to MMA and break your bones and stretch you out. And then also, you know, someone in WWE that could be physically imposing. And obviously it would be nice if he was, you know, able to talk on the microphone kind of towards the end. You know, there was a few promos with him and like Roman and where you got to see Brock talk a little, you know, but I don't know. WWE doesn't need him, but I don't know. It would be kind of interesting if down the road, if we ever saw him, at least, you know, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, I don't think that we need like a retirement match or anything like that, but just the way that how everything played out, I feel like there's something left that I want to see out of Brock before it's all said and done. Like if we never see him ever again, I don't know. I just feel like I want to be able to see some kind of dream match before it's done, but I don't know if he wants to come back though. And obviously him and Vince are dirtbags. So, you know.
All these instruments of destruction around the ring can aid you in destroying your opponent. They can also be a massive distraction.
Plus, you know, you also have to think how many shady things, you know, that have gone on with others that haven't been released. You know, like obviously we know Vince, you know, and some of the other, you know, people on the up and up, you know, that obviously got caught. But let's not like, you know, let's not pretend like maybe other people have done some things that we don't know about, you know, especially in this particular business. All right, my Paisley pup wants out, so let me let her out here.
On his shoulders, Sheamus is furious, trying for that white noise, and now a blow to the back. Priest out, and McIntyre. Oh, raise him down from the table. Catch out by McIntyre. Priest to hero.
Nice kick out. Reza Ramon. Michael Hayes. And there's going to be a, you know, and I don't know if stuff is ever going to fully come out, but there's a lot of shady stuff in the wrestling business. I imagine a lot of relationships would be ruined if the truth really did come out, especially with a lot of these wrestlers going on the road with each other, especially if they have girlfriends and wives or boyfriends and girlfriends at home or at the hotel. You know, a lot of shady stuff going on. Priest. Oh, here we go. Oh, to the eyes. Oh! Wow.
For the second straight match, our sellout crowd, Jenny, this is awesome. This is WrestleMania. And these two are trying to steal the show and steal away in a Sin City street fight. With the anger, the disdain in the eyes of Drew McIntyre looking on at Priest. Oh, a slapping. Oh. Complete disrespect by McIntyre, and Priest is going to show no respect out. And now the slugfest underway in the ring.
Oh, nice slugfest. Big slaps. Like, for example, like if we ended up getting, you know, like Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns in a triple threat or something, you know, well, I don't know, necessary stipulation or not, but just like, you know, for example, like that could be pretty special, you know, again, and not very many people, you would be able to bring out the best in each other, based on physicality and match. And it's not going to be as good as like that female triple threat that we saw, but just an example of like three guys that are different with different styles, and move sets that could, kind of give you something that maybe you haven't seen in 2025 or even in 2024. Oh, here we go. Old school Undertaker. Oh, shit! Oh, my God. That was sweet. For a match that's supposed to be number 2, which is typically the worst match out of the card, having the stipulation and taking these bumps and being able to kind of go all out, man, this won't be the worst match on the card here for sure. Wow. We might not have a bad match all on night number 2, unless, the Lyra, Becky Lynch, and Liv and Raquel underwhelms. That might end up being the worst one of the card, but everything else looks like it's going to be very highly rated. Wow. Yeah, I did not think that it was going to be this good. If I'm being honest, I'm a big Drew guy. I just kind of felt that, didn't know what kind of entrance we were going to get. They definitely went above and beyond with Drew and, with Damian Priest. And, man. Wow. I mean, again, not every single person in the room or, fans out there are going to be big, Drew guys or big Damian Priest guys. But let's be real. After that triple threat, that was a lot to live up to. And having that stipulation in that match took it to that next level where it could have been just like a 7 and then ended up turning into, a solid 8.5 match that was much better than anyone anticipated. Even if you're the most hardcore Drew guy, even if you're a Damian Priest guy, that one went a little bit higher than anyone anticipated. That was a pretty fucking solid number 2 match. And if we're being real, that was actually better than half of the matches yesterday. That was pretty solid. Wow. Some pretty cool spots in this match. Again, moveset is everything. Anyone can body slam someone onto the steps, but to do that, and then here pushing him back onto the tables like that, double tables, and then little Claymore action with the chair at the end. I love it, man. That was much better than we ever anticipated. I know a lot of us were thinking, this might be like a 6 or a 7. That actually turned into like, an 8.5, actually decent. And there's going to be matches much better than that one. But for the number 2 match, which is normally, the worst match of the card, main event's best. First match is usually best or second best. And then second is usually the worst on the card overall. I don't think that's going to be the worst match of the night. Night 2 is cooking. 100% agreed. Much better vibe, much better energy out of the crowd, and much better matches than what we saw yesterday. Like almost night and day difference. Incredible start. All right, so if that is what we got so far, so where do we go next? You already went with that kind of hardcore match, so I assume we're not going to go with another one-on-one with Logan and AJ. They'll save that. So next match has to be, the Fatal 4-Way, more than likely, right? Or with Liv and Raquel, Lyra, and Becky Lynch. You would assume it'll be one of those 2 matches. And then after that, then it'll go with Logan and AJ, and then obviously going through that. So maybe Fatal 4-Way. I mean, it really just depends on what, vibe they want in the next match. Fatal 4-Way, or if they want to go back to a women's match. But But I'm thinking Liv, Raquel, Lyra, Becky Lynch, or Dirty Dom, Finn, Penta, and Braun Breaker. Maybe going with the Fatal 4-Way would give, more vibes, especially keeping the emotional high. So, I mean, they could also go AJ Logan. They could go that route, but sometimes when you end up having a one-on-one, you're going to switch it up to something different. 2-on-2, Fatal 4-Way, and then go back to the one-on-one after that. But we will see. Because obviously we know Cena and Cody will be at the end, but it's all about, you're trying to have a build-up for the PLE. So, I mean, unless you want to lead up to the Fatal 4-Way is the second to last match with Cena, like what's going to be the lead up, right before that? What kind of vibes do you want before that match? So do you want it to kind of finish strong at the end, and you got to be able to squeeze in that female match somewhere. I think for me, if I would want a match now, I think I would want to do the Fatal 4-Way now next. But again, I don't know if they're going to save that for second to last, if they're going to lead up. Because do you really want to have Logan and AJ leading up to the main event or that female match leading up to the main event? I guess. But I think we're doing Fatal 4-Way. Because we already had a one-on-one. Give us something different. I think if it was me, I would go Fatal 4-Way, then I would go female match, and then I go AJ and Logan Paul, and then obviously the main event with Cody. I mean, I should be a booker. Your boy knows. Because I know how Triple H operates. If you end up watching Vince and how he operates PLEs or pay-per-views, there's a psychology to it, and you can kind of see patterns. And typically when they do one type of match, like triple threat, they're not going to do another triple threat. If they end up doing a one-on-one, even with a stipulation, they're not going to do another one-on-one. They'll save that later. And so, they want to kind of flip up the vibe and then go to, either a 4-way or a tag. And, you want to keep the energy high. So 4-way, women's match, Logan and AJ to give you the athleticism, and then ending the night with Cody and John Cena. I think we'll see. There's a pattern to it. With special savings on theme park tickets and new Walt Disney World Fun.
Get it before he wakes up. Get it in as fast as you can with express delivery.
Mushka, bold and smooth survival skills. In unpredictable conditions, pack layers, both for your body and your beer. And for the mountains.
Let's talk Saturday. Great. What do you typically offer for this role? It's competitive.
Your boy knows, baby. I won't be right about everything, but so you got a guy in Dom that still isn't really figured out, to get to that level yet. He's still growing. Obviously Lenny D loves Finn, but I feel like a lot of people don't really give a shit about him. Braun Breaker, really entertaining. Penta, really entertaining. So we'll see on how this goes. And, with the Steiners, the math is mathin', and we'll see what happens here in this Fatal 4-Way. Obviously, a turn, between Dom and Finn definitely is very plausible, based on the dynamic that we have with the Judgment Day, which really isn't cool anymore without Ripley or Damian Priest in it. Penta, they're treating him like a superstar. Braun, he's a superstar. And this should be very interesting to see how it all plays out. Yeah, I mean, besides Lenny D, who loves Finn because of the Bullet Club, I feel like he's the least likable out of the four. And again, if you love Finn, that everyone is everyone is, has the right to have their favorites. But I imagine if you ended up taking a poll of WWE and their fans, Finn would be the least liked out of these four by quite a bit. Even though he's a better wrestler than Dom is more likable than Finn. And obviously Breaker and Penta are leaps and bounds ahead of the other two, based on what they do in the ring and the vibe and the support that they get from the fans.
What is that?
Yeah, but the thing is Finn isn't the greatest on the mic, and his moveset, isn't necessarily the best. Again, you love him, but again, like how many people outside of you say like, I love Finn Balor? I don't think very many people are going to say that. Like, I feel there's like a lot of others that, are a little bit more likable, a little bit better in the ring, not the greatest on the mic. Obviously he can be better than like Dom, but I don't know how many people would choose, Finn over Penta or Finn over Braun Breaker or Finn over, some of the others. But again, if you love Finn, good. I mean, at least someone likes him. So I know, but the thing is you're hanging on to Finn from the past, not Finn currently. And again, Finn used to be different, with the vibe. But in 2025, Finn is, I don't want to say he's a jobber, or anything like that. Like, he's still a name, but he's kind of sliding downwards. His trajectory isn't going up, it's going down, Like, honestly, if we had a guy like Finn and Dolph Ziggler was still in WWE, I would rather see Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is a better seller, different, type of move set. And again, if you love a guy from the past, you have every right to with the Bullet Club. But I just have a hard time believing that people really like Finn in 2025. He's definitely sliding down the rankings, and it's not looking good because you got a guy like Dom that can't even really wrestle or talk on the mic yet. And he came out as like the heel, like Logan Paul booed, but he is universally more loved than Finn fans, that you see. So, but at least someone still likes him, but Finn don't do it for me, man. He's a little bit too bland for me. Like, I appreciate that he's in WWE, but I don't know. He just, he kind of reminds me of like Gunther. It's just not for me, like if you love Gunther and you love Finn, great. But, it's not going to hurt my feelings if I never see those guys wrestle ever again. But I will give you that, back in the day, Finn was different, but again, they kind of ruined him, and again, if Finn were to be the demon and that was what he was, the rest of the way, then it would be up. But simple fact that they went away from that, and then, just regular Finn Balor doesn't do it. But Demon Finn Balor would take him up a couple pegs, and then people would be interested in him again. So again, if you wanted to get Finn to be popular, that's how you do it. You turn him heel. He's the demon for the rest of the career. I know that makeup is a bitch to put on and take off, but that's the only way Finn is relevant in WWE ever again. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, that's the only way that he'll cook again, even if it's the same move set, but just a different look, a different entrance, a different vibe, because what you get with Finn now is stale. You put in the demon full time, even though it's only supposed to be like a special thing, with what he does now, he's too generic. And I know some of y'all, may agree or not agree, but that's kind of how I feel. But bring back the demon, and then it would be dope. Then it would get me, okay, I'm invested in Finn again, at least a little. It's still not my favorite, but I'm like, okay, let me see Finn. Let me see Demon versus Penta. Ooh, but Finn versus Penta doesn't do it for me. Like sometimes you need a new gimmick, a new heel turn, something different. And especially when you have something as cool as the Demon, why not do it? It's like Bray is cool and rest in peace, right? And obviously what we saw with The Fiend, and they dropped the ball with that as well. Sometimes you just need a kind of a new gimmick or a change and whatnot. But that's the only way Finn gets his career back on track. Dirty Dom coming out with the lucha mask, huh? Dom has gotten progressively better on the mic and better in the ring, but he still has a long ways to go. but not as booed like the Logan Paul anymore. You know, it's like you had the whole feud with Ray and that made him heel, you know, but again, now it's like kind of like NWO where you kind of come in like booed, but then you start to be kind of with the swagger and the vibe where now it's like they don't really boo you anymore. They kind of like you. You're kind of cool. You kind of have this edge to you. And obviously growing out the hair like Eddie, you know, and having this kind of aura and vibe, much better. Because again, if he would have stayed face, had short hair, baby face, no one would give a shit, you know, but sometimes you have to evolve as a wrestler or a character or a look. And I like the direction where Dom is going, but he still has a long fucking way to go. Still not very smooth in the ring. Still needs a hell of a lot of, you know, mic improvement, but at some point he will have gold around his waist. I think we can all agree to that. Not just because Rey Mysterio's his dad, but again, it's the evolution of Dominic Mysterio. Even if he wasn't paired up with Liv, you know, it's just, you know, it's baby steps. It's going to take some time. Yeah. You know, and again, you know, like I said, we're in 2025 and, you know, sometimes you need to flip the script. Like everyone knows heel versions of wrestlers are better than faces. Even the best faces are better as heels because you get that attitude to come out, the shit talking to come out, and you get that aura and that vibe. And a lot of times things get a little stale being a baby face, no matter how good you are at it. See, this isn't doing it for anybody anymore, you know? Like, I really feel like Finn is on the brink of like, you know, going like in his mind, he probably thinks he's like main event, but you're literally like mid card going down to like low end. Like you're almost getting to a point where you're going to have to start putting over the young guys, you know, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. Like, unless you go demon, no one's caring, you know, no one is invested. And, as far as leader of Judgment Day, you know, he ain't it. Like Dom would be a better leader of Judgment Day. You know, he just needs to end up leaving the group and going to the demon full time, and then he can cook. And even then, even as the demon, not everyone's going to be on board, but at least it makes it a little bit more interesting with the look and all, you know, new music and vibe. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't be face demon. It has to be heel. You know, he's got to cheat. He's got to, you know, be conniving. He's got to be sneaky. You know, he's got to jump people. You know, it has to be like that for sure. I mean, if we're really being honest, if anyone in the entire WWE that needs a facelift, it's definitely Finn because his trajectory is if he stays like this, it's going down. Regardless if he's Judgment Day leader, you know, for the next 2 years, or if he gets kicked out tonight, you know, like things need to change. Or, you know, or if they try to boot out Dom and Liv ends up being with him, even with Liv next to him, you know, as his like manager or girl, still that ain't going to improve the, you know, overall vibe of how we feel about Finn. Just needs a facelift. Give me the demon, baby. Then I'll be interested. I mean, just think about it. Demon versus Penta one-on-one, but rather than Penta versus Finn, what gets you more wanting to watch, even if you don't give a shit about the Finn Balor, you know, evolution at this point? Braun Breaker, there's 4 guys, 25% chance to win, but the math is mathing. So he's got 129.3% chance to win. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. I like the gear with the white and the blue. It reminds me of Rick Steiner, 100%. I mean, I love watching old school Rick and Scott Steiner matches from back in the day. And very Rick Steiner with the gear there. Not very many guys can wear a singlet and make it kind of look cool. He would have been an amazing NWO member if he was alive at that point. I mean, you can almost visualize it in your head. Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, Braun Breaker. Hell, he could have been Braun Steiner, and you'd have been loving it. New world order for life, brother. Oh, yeah. Demon versus Malachi. Whoa, that would be nasty. Ooh. Crazy how much better night number 2 has been. And again, flow of the PLE is so important to keep the crowd engaged. We were already on an emotional high on one of the best triple threats we've ever seen in WWE history, right? Then you end up, lining it up with Drew, all right, with, Damian Priest. Great intro, great music, great looks, right? And then that one ended up being above and beyond. And this is going to be great because you got 4 guys. There's going to be double team moves, triple team moves. You got the aggressiveness with Braun, Penta giving you the lucha libre, Finn, giving you a little bit of everything. And then Dom, just being sneaky and trying to find ways to, make his presence known in this match. I'm excited to see where this goes. And again, this one, they have to keep the energy high and we have to have some good spots. Otherwise, it's going to get a little stale. And we already know that Dom and Finn are going to turn on each other in this match at some point. 100%. Let's go, Penta. Penta looking like an Oregon Duck out there, but I feel like some of the other colors are better, but every, outfit that Penta wears is fire, and whether it be the black and the white or with the blue and the black. Oh, Braun is insane. Braun and fucking, like his spears and his body checks out of nowhere. If he was like in sports, they would be definitely drug testing him after the match. If he was like in the NBA, NFL, like he is nuts, dude. Yeah, we haven't seen too many athletes like Braun, that's for sure. Much faster than Rick, and I love it that the Steiner family is still involved in wrestling. What's Scott's son's name? Are they going to still go by Steiner as well? Fucking A, dude. Braun is everywhere. 2. You know what I really want to see? Like, that's going to be must-see TV, right? Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu. What's going to be better than that based on style of wrestling? Nothing. There's nothing that's going to be better than that. That's what I want to see. Gold versus gold. That's must-see TV. You don't even need a fucking stipulation for that. Their styles, would match so and blend so well together. Like Jacob Fatu would be able to take Braun to a whole nother level wrestling him. But obviously, if you could make it a triple threat with like Penta, then it could go to a whole nother level. Yeah, baby. Brock Steiner. Yeah, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dude, double German, you fucking insane. Oh. There, you know, he's got a Brock Lesnar energy, but the athleticism is different. He gives you that same kind of aura and vibe, right? Now we just need him to improve on the mic skills. There we go, Dom. Let me see some athleticism. The hyena. Here we go. And obviously, I'm a big Eddie Guerrero fan. I always will be. And, you know, I'm very interested to see where Dom's career goes. You know, he definitely needed to be a part of a group, to be mentored, you know, to be able to take himself to the next level. But at some point, you know, he is going to have to either fly solo or join a tag, you know, and with someone better than Finn, you know, to be able to take it to the next level and have him learn. Like even maybe making him a tag champ before he becomes a singles champ to get more experience under his belt. Whoa! You fucking kidding me? This guy's insane. Fucking strength is incredible. Goodbye. And it definitely makes you feel like, you know, you're feeling Rick and Scott through the veins. You know, like anytime I see a move, like, oh, that's Scott. Oh, that's Rick. You know. Oh, baby. Whew. Incredible athlete, man. What very cool aura about him. You know, like, you know how they say some wrestlers got the it factor? Braun's got the it factor. And then if he can find a way to cut promos and like get really good on the mic, then the sky is the limit. Like the guy is so good, he doesn't even need to be in a tag ever, you know. But obviously at some point in his career, you know, they might pair him up with someone. But obviously there's a solo career for quite some time before they even consider putting him in a tag, even for a short time period. Like at some point he will be world champ, you know, but the answer is when. But I would love to see Jacob Fatu and him go one-on-one, man. Yeah, baby. Get him 619. I caught him. There we go, Finn. Show me some aggression. Ooh, nice penta driver. Best AEW pickup and WWE has had, you know, since AEW has been created, until we end up getting like MJF down the road or a few others. But, you know, but again, they could have, you know, they could have not given the pyro. They could have not given him the, you know, this type of vibe. But again, you want to make sure your guys that you're bringing in from AEW, you treat them the right way instead of just burying the talent. And, you know, it's nice to be able to see WWE elevate someone even higher than they were in AEW. Facts. And MJF would be on that level too. Ooh, nice super kick. And you know what the cool thing about Penta is? You know, even though he's like Lucha Libre, Penta can wrestle with anybody, you know, which is kind of rare for like a Lucha Libre guy being so tall. Two. Like Penta can wrestle any style against anyone, which is pretty rare for a Lucha Libre, but he's incredibly tall, kind of like La Parka was back in the day. Mexican Destroyer. Two. There we go, baby. Carlito, what's cooler than being cool? Powerhouse Hobbs. Orange Cassidy. Yeah, baby. Ooh, 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 ooh. I mean, how often do we actually see, from dad or grandpa and, having the success that Rick and Scott Steiner had, and then to end up having a son that gives you that same kind of energy that those guys did, maybe even more. This is an amazing time to be alive if you're a wrestling fan. The best wrestling has been since the peak. 95 to 99 was its very best in the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, and ECW. Just be thankful that you're alive right now, experiencing the best of the best. Incredible. Oh, I mean, I'm not really a big fan of the spear. It's kind of like a certain move that too many guys do, but Braun does it a special way. Dom at the top. There it is. There it is. There's the fin. Not tonight. And you hear the crowd, based on the wrestlers, even the dog woofing, like the energy on every match has been spectacular. Yesterday, it was a 0. It seems like every match, the energy has been an 8, 9, or 10, or, like very, very high. Coup de grace. But it's all about match placement. Oh, frog splash. And also who's wrestling. 1, 2. Dom. Wow. Now, so Jacob Fatu, we didn't think he was ready. We didn't think Dom was ready. And then this is the surprise that we get. This is why WWE is king. Just because you think they're not ready yet, they're willing to throw a curve and say, hey, we're going to give you a chance because we know, that we're going to do this for you. Wow. 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 And again, I'm not mad at it. I would have loved if Braun retained. I would have loved if Penta got it. If Finn got it, super surprised. But just the same way, you're super, super surprised. Like the guy that was probably least likely to get it, got it. And again, LA Knight being the man of the company, Jacob Fatu being the hot new thing. He's not ready yet for gold. They give it to him. Dom ain't ready for gold. They give it to him. If this is the Vince McMahon era, this never happens. In this Triple H era, you never know what to expect. And that's why WWE is king. Wow. Incredible. Oh, my God, man. Wow. And again, sometimes, if you're not fully vibing, with the match all the way through, something to take it to that next level is a surprise ending, right? And that's what you got right there. I mean, I assume most of us thought what Braun would retain or Penta would win, right? And then obviously, then maybe, Dom or Finn, but you didn't really think it would be possible. They're in the match, but there's no way they're getting the gold. Wow. Night 2 is cooking, dude. We haven't seen a bad match yet. Everything has been an 8 or better, and you started off the first match with a 20. One of the best triple threats of all time. Man, I would be embarrassed if I was on night number 1 because this is so much better. And look at the crowd. Like, they're actually engaged. So it shows you it's like who's involved in the match, even if they lose. Wow, I can't believe Dom had his moment already. It's a little early. You'd think that he would have this moment a year or 2 from now. Not like today. Really? Pretty sweet, man. It makes you kind of wonder what direction that they're going to go. Is Braun going to go and go one-on-one with Jacob Fatu now because he had to drop the belt to go for gold? Like, are we going to be able to get that? Wow. Wow.
You ready? Get ready. Stay ready. That's why I'm here. Who says? Me. I'm here. You mean Kip? No, me, him. Oh, Tim. Him. Oh, Jim. Oh. Him.
Wow. Cooking. I mean, I hope Balor goes to the Demon. But man, who is Dom going to be feuding with now? I mean, because again, just going with Finn feuding, I mean, we need something bigger than that. I mean, if you're going to give Dom the belt like a year or two earlier than maybe he deserves, like, where are we going? Because again, on the mic and in the ring, he's, still got a long ways to go. So obviously, having the Mysterio name and, Judgment Day, Liv Morgan. All right, where are we going with this? What's the big picture with Dom having gold so early? We know why Jacob Fatu got the gold, because of that crazy athleticism and giving you something that you haven't seen by that type of size of man really before. But what is the angle with Dom getting gold this soon? I'm very interested to see how this plays out. I need a better feud than with Finn. I mean, I get it. There are, Judgment Day and someone's going to get, I don't know. Like, I want to see something bigger than that. I want something more than just the obvious. Wow. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Let's try to get to 20 before this PLE ends. And obviously, we shoot for 100 in the donos on every single stream. We're still waiting on dono number 1. Support your boy. I got bills to pay. I got a pup to take care of. I got internet fees. Help your boy out.
With new episodes every Thursday exclusively on Peacock. Well, the Fountain in Las Vegas is the official hotel of WrestleMania 41, and WWE returns tonight with Roast to WrestleMania, featuring Tony Hinchcliffe and NXT this Tuesday, April 22nd. Tickets on sale now via Ticketmaster. All I can say is, this is the destruction from Braun Breaker as he completely decimated Carlito moments ago.
All right, next up will be the female match. And we'll see if we get Becky Lynch, and that'll give you another pop. It's all about one pop to the next pop to the next to the next, and, not really having anything to slow it down. And even if, people aren't really into Liv and Raquel and Lyra, and if it ends up being Becky and that match ends up being, at first, this might not be that good, but then if Becky Lynch ends up happening, or Randy Orton, obviously, totally forgot about that with the Randy Orton match. And obviously that is next. Pistol. Goodbye.
The world's most precious resource. Wi-Fi. And the Wi-Fi is booming. The Wi-Fi streams are rushing. Booming. Tables rushing. They're singing for days. Booming. Xfinity.
Totally forgot about that match. Randy versus what would be the most entertaining outcome? Randy versus who? I don't know. I mean, Randy and Aleister Black, that the styles would match probably the best. And then that would give you another pop, if we get Aleister Black, new one, and then Becky Lynch, new one, so then you just continue that trend, and then AJ Styles and Logan Paul, giving you that energy and the high flying, and then obviously the main event.
Giving you extra time in any of the 4 theme parks every day, and welcomes you back to even more magical moments. Start saving today.
Hey, you're not actually allowed to drink in a beer commercial? Since when? Yeah, wait till it's done. 5, 4,
3, 2.
1.
With hundreds of sales every week, eat well for less at Whole Foods Market.
You know what's really, really sad, though? We get robbed because the best match would have been Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. That would have been the best outcome, but we got robbed. Injuries stink.
Capture moments in color with paint made to last. Only at Sherwin-Williams. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your outfit first before meeting your girlfriend's family. So check Allstate first for a quote that can save you hundreds. So I have 10 years of hospitality experience.
And a college degree. It just can't be blank. What is that?
So a degree in Dutch poetry would make me more qualified.
Yep.
A zoology degree?
Yep.
Metalsmithing.
Yep.
Poultry science.
Yeah.
Indeed matches you with jobs that actually match your experience. And what was your major?
Find the next 5 Blue Stars FC games and put them in my cap.
Game on, big show. This is
All right, Randy, where are we going here? One of the best wrestlers of all time, Randy Orton. Never had a bad match. Doesn't matter if he's a face or a heel. Delivers on the microphone, delivers in the ring. And if you think about it, you know, he's never really gotten like fat. You know, he's always worked super hard on the mic and in the ring and on his, you know, physique. Fantastic. You know, again, there's a lot of other guys that end up getting the love, but again, you never ever, you know, can discredit Randy Orton and what he means to this business since he's come in. You got to remember, he came in early back in that John Cena Batista era, you know, in the early 2000s, and he's been delivering banger after banger after banger for 20 plus years. He is incredible, and he's great with gold, and he's great without gold. Facts. Maybe the most underappreciated superstar, you know, on his level. You know, again, a guy that should have gold all the time. You know, there shouldn't be too many moments where a wrestler like this doesn't have gold, but there's so many, you know, people in the company and whatnot. And after the injury, I'm glad that he is back. Love me some Randy Orton.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the 14th year, please be
Gosh, man. I mean, Randy and Kevin Owens would have been great based off style. I don't know. Randy and Aleister Black, I feel, would probably put on the best type of match based off size, skill set, and move set. But again, would they really bring in a guy from AEW and then like, all right, you're going against Randy Orton? I mean, we'll find out. I mean, obviously we know Rusev is signed, Aleister Black is signed, but all of a sudden MJF comes out, people lose their fucking mind. Yeah, I don't know. With Rusev, I mean, you know, it would be cool to see him back, but I don't know. Randy deserves better than Rusev. Who is it?
Ladies and gents, I said that I would be here at WrestleMania ready to go. Only question now is who is going to come through the curtain. Well, I'll tell you one thing, whoever it is,
Obafemi? Obafemi?
it's going to be courtesy of the 3 most dangerous letters in all.
Obafemi would be interesting. Okay. Oh. Who is it?
Don't do it.
Who is it? I think Obafemi would be awesome. That would be a good matchup too. You know, someone getting the call up from NXT. Give me Obafemi. Who is it? Oh, let's go. It's Hendry, baby. Okay, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this. Okay. Okay. I like this. And obviously not everyone knows who this is unless you actually are a hardcore wrestling fan. Maybe the most liked wrestler that isn't a part of the company on a full-time basis. Okay. Better than Rusev, better than Aleister Black, better than Obafemi. Okay. TNA champion, Joe Hendry. And this, based off size, skill set, this will be a big moment for Joe. Okay. Not everyone, is about Joe Hendry, but, we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if we had this in the, but again, it's all about surprises, right? Cross promotion. But ultimately, seeing Joe Hendry in the ring and him getting some love from the fans, there's 0% chance that Hendry beats Randy Orton. Not at WrestleMania. Like, you might be able to pull off some of your signature moves and whatnot, but there's no way in hell you're winning.
He's going to be trending soon as well. Can you imagine if Henry comes in on the 20th anniversary of WrestleMania for Randy and pulls up a massive upset? So I don't get this. If Randy wins, he's the TNA champion. I don't believe the champion.
Pat.
Something.
Surprise after surprise after surprise. And then we have to figure out if Becky Lynch is going to be with Lyra. I mean, I'd rather have Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella, but we'll see where we go next. All right, here we go. Randy Orton, surprised opponent, TNA champion Joe Hendry. Crowd is a billion times better than they were yesterday. I don't know if it's the same people with the same tickets in the same spots, but it seemed like a bunch of rich people that weren't invested yesterday. And 2. But crowd is a billion times better here today. You actually can hear them in the PLE, which is nice.
That's all great. The bottom line is this, okay? Randy Orton beat John Cena and Triple H in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 24. He beat Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 33 to win the WWE title.
I wonder if they had a practice run together before this match. But, not everyone watches TNA or that's too familiar. So it's like I feel like people have heard of him, but not a lot of people have actually seen him wrestle. Nice power slam by Randy. Vintage. Not sure if it was literally the best opponent that we could have had, but I think Aleister Black would have been better, but oh, vintage. It's like, why did Kevin Owens have to get hurt, man? We got robbed. Fall away slam. Kip up. RKO out of nowhere. I wish we could have had something better. You already knew it was going to be kind of a squash match, for Orton and whatnot. And I know it was, obviously after, Kevin Owens ended up, getting hurt. Again, it's like you can be at WrestleMania, but obviously the worst match of the night so far. Randy deserved better. It's like, I don't know what to, we deserve better, after what we got to see, up to this point. I mean, I didn't expect like a, 30-minute match or like a hour Iron Man match, but, something is left to be desired there. Could have been better. But I mean, the surprise factor was kind of cool, but. When is Joe Hendry's contract going to be up on TNA? Like, how many more years does he have left on contract there? Like, are we going to end up seeing him in WWE full time soon? RKO out of nowhere. Cool kid. Yes, they did. Big series win against the Blue Jays. And then they have the day off, and then we're going to be going to Boston, going against Judah and Britt and the Boston Red Sox, and I'll be streaming those games as well. We'll be doing Monday Night Raw live stream tomorrow, and then we'll be doing Mariners Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday against the Red Sox. Okay, Randy. All right. I mean, again, when you can't end up having that, match that you want, and you still want the guy to be a part of Mania for his record, it's more of kind of a playful match and whatnot. It wasn't ever going to be some serious buildup because it's just some random, mystery person. Wish it was a little longer, but I'm glad Randy was able to get out there, and the Hendry spot surprised us, right? I mean, that might have been like our fifth choice, but again, that's WWE for you. All right, so after that, where are we going now? We're going to be going tag match with Liv and Raquel and Lyra and mystery partner, or since we did mystery partner, now are we going to go Logan and AJ Styles? I guess it really depends on what you want to be the match before you go into the main event. Where are we going? Women's tag or AJ and Logan? Yeah, Logan and AJ hype up the crowd, then reveal Becky Lynch, and then pop the crowd that way, and then end up finishing it off with Cody and John Cena and The Rock and Travis Scott and Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. New World Order for life.
In LA. Shout out to the highest earning touring rapper in the world. This Air Jordan collaboration revolutionized the sneaker world. And he was in the ring with The Rock, John Cena, and Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber. Travis Scott's song, Theme, featuring Playboy Cardi, is the official theme song of WrestleMania 41. This is available now on the latest album, Utopia, a record that debuted #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. Absolute banger. Made by Travis Scott, the WrestleMania official theme. And you can shop the all-new WWE Package Jack collection available for a limited time only on WWEshop.com and Fanatics.com. Travis Scott, a part of the WWE family. Its Package Jack collection is must buy and available now. He was part of a WWE World event earlier today. And ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, the Maverick, Logan Paul. Looks to continue.
All right, Logan Paul.
Standing in his way, the phenomenal one. The technician AJ Styles. Looks to remind the viral sensation it takes.
Yeah, can't have a surprise and a surprise back to back.
In the meantime, here are the egos and confrontations that form this match.
Miles of flavor, those crispy peaks, 12 flakes so bold, your whole life's complete. Dipped in the lake, man, that ranch is deep. Little crispy tenders, bring the place, clean stuff.
Liberty Mutual is all she talks about since we saved hundreds by bundling our home and auto insurance.
Hey, kid. It's pronounced Liberty. 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 No, she's mocking me. Very mature.
Hey, that's a nephew too.
Hey, I'm not the one acting like a total baby.
She's two.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty.
What I'm doing isn't for the ranch. It's for us.
You having fun yet?
You should be scared.
Closest to the pen for an ultra.
Needs you at the work card.
The local superior like this.
In the whisper of the tree. Love is in the air.
It's Pod's biggest sale in history. Save up to 30% on moving and storage until May 19th. And see why Pods is America's #1 container moving company. Whether you're relocating or renovating, save up to 30% at pods.com today.
Wow, I just posted my job, and ZipRecruiter is on it. It finds active, qualified candidates with the exact skills I'm looking for. I can't believe how I used to do it before. Carl, none of these candidates are qualified. Wrong skills, wrong experience. I don't know where to put this person. He's a cat influencer. Now I'm getting people who are the best fit for my roles. ZipRecruiter, rated the #1 hiring site. Try it free at ziprecruiter.com/peacock.
For the McLaren Formula One team, success starts by tracking over 14,000 parts with Smartsheet. With AI-powered workflows, every piece comes together to compete for championships. Smartsheet helps drive the future of racing.
At US Bank, when we say we're in it with you, we mean it. Not just for the good stuff, but for all the hard work it took to get there. We are in for all of it. Because there's nothing as powerful as the power of us.
You can fit a lot of vacation into a weekend. Book your next weekend getaway with Verbo.
Speaking up and talking to your doctor is important. Ask your doctor if the victim is right for you.
That's what that Prime money gets you, huh? Split screen 9 ways. He's a douchebag, but he can wrestle. I'll give him that. We're going to see a couple nice spots out of him. And a good opponent for him because their styles match very well. Both athletic, both high flying.
This match tonight is presented by the General Insurance. The General Insurance gives you a break when you need it most. No matter what you think about Logan Paul, he's been incredible at WrestleMania. He's 2-1. Last year he beat Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in the same match. Logan Paul has been spectacular. Logan Paul is so humble, is what the song says. Yes, he would say, I've traded everything. I could be the most acceptable human on earth. Instead, he shows up. It shows out every time.
All right, baby. I like the white gear for AJ Styles. Kind of reminds me of Seth Rollins when he went with the white. It's a very clean look with the white and the blue rather than going blue and the white. I like the ring gear. Simple but clean. And sometimes when you have too much going on, you know, it kind of takes away from everything, but I like it.
He is a appointment viewing. Every time he's out here, he shocks, he surprises, and very often he has success to what a major opportunity it is for Logan Paul to cement himself as a bona fide top-tier competitor with victory tonight. He was a great amateur wrestler in college. He then went to become an entrepreneur, taking over the internet and digital world, making himself hundreds of millions of dollars. He creates, he builds, he's gotten to the WWE. He is taking over. He's going to take on a man who's been around the world in best in his professional wrestling world. A phenomenal Logan Paul. I believe a lot of it has to do with the fact that people are jealous of what the showman accomplished so far. And not just his in-ring career, but in everything he's done in the business. Well, there's supposed to be a natural order to success. You're supposed to pay your dues, come up the hard way, earn it every step of the way. The problem with Logan Paul is he didn't have to do any of that. He simply jumped the line and was immediately really good. You're right, it's jealous. These other people love to fall in line. Greatness likes to get to the top quick. Logan Paul will bet on himself every time, and now he's found himself with a phenomenal one. Many people also like to blame others. Logan Paul blames no one as he locks up with AJ Styles to start this match. If you're Paul away, what's your strategy against the men?
Well, you simply got into the head of AJ Styles already. You can't match his experience, but you can match his athleticism. And I don't say that lightly because AJ Styles is just otherworldly athleticism. Logan Paul is as gifted as they come.
You're not going to push AJ Styles around him.
And I think Logan Paul's okay with a little bit of a fist fight as well. It's actually a great matchup.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Logan Paul on several occasions over the past couple of months has outfoxed and outsmarted AJ Styles. He's done that because Logan Paul doesn't think the same way as the rest of us. It's part of why he's had success. And when Logan Paul thinks differently, it makes it very difficult to figure out and outmaneuver.
The thing about Logan Paul is he's always developing, always learning. He knows he's new to the game, but he wants to get to the top as fast as possible.
It's the aptitude for WWE as Logan Paul hangs on. It says not quite AJ. AJ now going to be locked out to the apron. Styles don't play super to the gut. Slides underneath Paul. AJ very quick and agile. Set across the ring. Styles in the top of one.
AJ gave a little two-piece talk after Will.
He's brought by Logan Paul. Turns around and quick trying to get by Styles. The veteran has Logan a bit out of sorts and nearly go.
AJ's just waiting on him here. AJ's three steps ahead of Logan Paul at this point.
But we talked a little earlier about how you're supposed to be carrying up the hard way, paying your dues, earning it the old-fashioned way. AJ did all of that, and he must be vexing to him. But somebody who didn't have to do any of that is essentially his equal here at WrestleMania.
Wait, I didn't notice that it was one on camera. And AJ Styles now using the apron to his advantage. This is a fiddly move. Tie up your opponent to the apron, line up, and attack it. And that's what Styles is doing here.
It was a better trick from Styles. You notice that he was favoring that ribcage. He was simply playing possum, baiting the less experienced Paul into him, and then catching him with an apron trick.
You talked about that long road to the top that AJ took. You learned a lot of tricks.
In the long road.
That'll cave in your almost a blow, Logan Paul. Like I know Logan Paul's been into boxing fights in his time. He's never been struck quite like that before.
Those are the things that Logan Paul is experiencing for the first time. Every time.
AJ Styles has done all these things hundreds, if not thousands of times. There's new stuff being presented to Logan Paul on the biggest stage and around the bases.
Paul drives Styles, rips first in the barricade. And if experience is a weakness for Logan Paul, resiliency is a massive strength. We've seen it time and time again against the likes of Roman Reigns. It's very difficult to keep down AJ in the barricade.
He also has an unflappable confidence in himself. Might be because he's so humble. Might be because he's from Ohio. Might be because he has had success at everything he's ever done.
Logan Paul does not know how to fail. He's on the fast face looks off the apron by Styles. Referee Jessup for Paul in control of this matchup tonight. Paul design crowd here completely backing the phenomenal one. And Logan Paul, great move, stepped out of harm's way, sends AJ into the post. I've never seen a man heading aside. A whip into the post by Paul with authority.
He might have dislocated his shoulder right there.
The smart there from Logan Paul using what was available. I've never seen a man so resilient and impervious to negative energy being thrown his way from a massive audience like we have here today. It's almost like fuel to Logan Paul. He feeds off, music to his ears.
He was born and raised on the internet. There's not many positive things said on there. You can't handle a couple of boos or some negative comments, you'll never make it on the internet.
Oh, my God. Watch this success. Style control. Come up here.
And athleticism, you see, just spring more thrust on the outside with these. With these, no problems at all. Not tired, not even sweating.
Look, AJ Styles is a man at times grappling with his own career mortality. Styles on the Spanish announce table. AJ, oh,
His last name Styles.
sends AJ off the apron in the ring. Styles knows the sands of time are running out on his own career, and he has to make every great count. He badly needs a victory here tonight. Great move by Paul to move back into the ring and break the count.
I believe he's not on his throne, but he caught earlier today.
We caught that out of the air.
Like a pet, he's been hanging this thing.
Oh, look at that. We got shot. You know, this is going on social media. Brings to it.
Nice. Buzz the tire a little bit there, Jordan friend.
And now look at this. Look at Paul now using the apron to hit the nose. And that's the attitude we talked about with Logan Paul. He's a quick learner. He never makes the same mistake twice, and he turns AJ's offense around on him. He's also competing against the very best. Every time you see Logan Paul in WWE and learns the best tricks from all of them, absorbs them into his own movesets. Here we come now. Paul top rope, AJ in trouble. The Paul to brace, connecting. For the win, Styles kicks out.
It genuinely felt like Logan Paul just found out that you're allowed to use the apron on the side.
Logan Paul is just as natural a high flyer as you'll ever see. He'd go air to air with the best. AJ Styles, beautiful time and execution there. And Styles is in trouble now.
The Paul American hitting the ball from grace. Logan Paul rolling. That's the name of their show on Max. Currently available.
I like that. It's describing it. This is that flip side of Logan Paul, from the entertainer to the bully and the thug in the blink of an eye.
He understands what it takes to be great in this business. He wants to be great at this business.
Time to perform. There's a time. Oh, the overbomb by Paul. Paul win. Hooks the leg. Stuck. The bottom rope. And anytime you can't kick out because you're so beat up, you have to reach for the bottom rope. You in dire straits. That was so well executed by Paul once again. The face of Styles bouncing off the back.
Uh-oh. Logan Paul was asking for a little noise.
Listen to the cheers. And a big boost. Dropping the big leg. Kick out.
Ty Smith could do it better.
That was more of a taunt than anything towards AJ Styles. They didn't get a 2 count. It just goes to show the kind of dominance Paul is showing.
And that's some jabs coming from Logan Paul, that boxing background you guys talked about earlier on.
This is one of the biggest punches we have seen in WWE. They get too close. Logan up something inside the case.
Take the fight to Paul.
Well, there was nothing cute about that from Styles. Simply muscle Logan Paul back to the corner and let him up.
Logan second rope, saw AJ taken out, coming out, for the win. Kick out at 2.
AJ tried to catch Logan Paul in midair, but too much has been taken out of the phenomenal one already. Who looks at this point like he's running on fumes.
Smooth move by Logan to turn that into a pin. Almost stole the win right there. So knocked the Styles of sorts. The moon fault.
Oh, kidney shot there for Logan Paul.
Overcame uppercuts. Couple uppercuts now by Paul.
It shows the range of offense that Logan Paul has available to him. But Styles has no answer to any of this. Logan Paul's biggest asset has always been that surprise factor. The trick came out of the back a long time ago. Nobody should be shocked about this performance from Logan Paul. When are we going to accept he ain't a newcomer? He ain't an outsider. He is the real deal, and he's doing it under the brightest spotlight of them all.
And he continues to evolve each and every time out. He's not scared to take his time and celebrate himself, though.
And that might be the kryptonite.
Biggest stages. All is shocking. AJ Styles stops himself. AJ now taking up the intensity. Logan Paul doesn't realize that Styles did not go into the corner. And he will now. As AJ walks to the top line. And here comes Styles to the phenomenal one. Representing the entire industry in a lot of people's eyes. Styles and Logan Paul up on his shoulders. That's taking Styles there, and he right to the back of the neck.
This is a different Styles to the one we've seen over the past 25 years. He's packed a hell of a lot of muscle on that frame. And he's using it to full effect now, powering Logan Paul around.
Earlier today, he's got to keep up with the kids. He's very jacked. And at this moment, he needs to end this. Don't let Logan Paul get a second win. Trying to pick up the offense now. Beat him down, AJ Styles, if you want to win. Styles first of all, knocks him into the back of his head.
It's a brain buster on that one.
Cover down. And kick out by Paul in 2. Both these men have to figure out what the hell they have left. Vertical suplex into the brain buster, dropping right on the back of his head.
It really felt like Logan Paul slipped on a banana peel here, just getting too braggadocious, absorbing too much spotlight here. Can't do that against an AJ Styles.
Well, it feel like the right time to take a victory lap, and AJ Styles has made it pay for it. What's he thinking now? The Styles clash to put Logan Paul away. Logan able to turn it around.
Close to a low blow there for Paul, but
AJ lands on his feet into the corner. Logan Paul, a bit overzealous, ran into the boot from Styles. Was trying to set up the Paul out there.
Logan Paul is the one who's really slowing down and in the drop zone.
And Logan Paul caught AJ. AJ was going for the phenomenal forearm, and Logan Paul caught it. And rolling senton by Paul. The 3 corners of the ring. Kick out by Styles. That was incredible.
Oh my God, that was about the longest lion soul I've ever seen. I saw how far AJ was away. He can't possibly be trying this, can he? Oh yeah, he can. That's what the Maverick does. He shuts, he holds, and ultimately he's back in control.
He's an absolutely incredible athlete. We're sold out tonight. Almost 60,000 yet again at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas for WrestleMania Sunday.
When you can pull out stuff like that, that truly is a cheat code to the very top of the industry. Proof positive of why Logan Paul is right here.
He's an audible in the middle of the match. We do a 3-quarter. Again, here's what Logan can't do. Can't keep getting caught up and celebrating himself. But you're going to get caught at some point by Styles. But he's going to do a lot of great things. You can't celebrate everything, Logan. You got to keep it moving. Well placed. Elbow by Styles. Flip off. Lands at his feet. Has pulled it up. Plays up and he Styles clash. Logan Paul to grab the ropes to count. Oh, kick by AJ. And another one.
Point to the spine there. Toe to the spine. No protection, but somehow Paul fighting back.
Bounces AJ off the turnbuckle.
Well, we're at the point in the match now where it's crucial. What is driving you? Both men in that game.
And look at that. Clothesline. Cover. Putting the leg down. By Styles. A slingshot clothesline. Lariat. Almost took Styles away.
The man driven by fame against the man driven by passion. Right now, there's the man who wants the spotlight the most, Logan Paul, who's looking like he's closing in on victory.
Now, you know better than anyone what a WrestleMania does for your brand.
Absolutely. And let alone Logan Paul's brand, it's already on top of the world. Braun, everything else he's done. Top shot lariat, though, in the middle of WrestleMania and AJ Styles. That could have been it. That should have been it. Logan Paul's playing his greatest hits right now. And AJ Styles is still in this match.
Taking loaded right hand.
With the biggest punches in the history of our game. And he's lining it up on the phenomenal one.
As that play to the right hand from a prior injury has used it to his advantage. Styles ducks underneath. AJ Styles. And Logan Paul up top. Down goes Logan Paul. Styles cover. Is it enough? Near fall for AJ.
Just like that, the experience of AJ Styles almost puts Logan Paul on his back. At this point, you got to be wondering who has more gas left in the tank.
It's not only that, it's also who has the deepest playbook again. To give the advantage of that to the phenomenal one that is 25 plus years of experience.
Who has the move? Who has the power to put this away? Who's walking out of WrestleMania a winner?
Logan Paul has barely moved for the past 1 minute.
Styles off the top. Got caught. Got caught by Paul, who got his knees up and Logan an opportunity.
Veteran got baited in there, and now he's going to pay the price.
Logan Paul pulling out of AJ Styles playbook.
The ultimate insult.
Styles clash. Paul, AJ in the low shootout, and AJ Styles now going to turn things around into a Styles clash and go.
If you said you think they're going to do that to me without an answer, yeah, right.
What a, oh, look at this idiot. That's that Jeff symbol. One of Logan Paul's entourage who always seems to be getting involved in these matchups. This damn Jeff.
It's what we call Plan B for Logan Paul. When it wasn't working.
Snaking around this damn. Oh, wait a minute. He's got brushed up over. Carrying cross. That's got Jeff. Good. Right check with that. AJ Styles gonna send Jeff toward the barricade.
You have to saw his light flash before his eyes.
We told this story on Monday.
Just put it on. Please, please just put it on. It's not about you. It's about you. Please. Put it on. Please. Please.
And they start talking about Stuckles. But the other right hand carrying cross. Cross has been begging AJ Styles to do the right thing and try to beat Paul time.
So he wants him to go back to his evil ways to get a win for the industry.
And Styles setting up the on top rope. Logan Paul. Bang! Paul with that right hand into the pulverizer. And radio. Logan Paul and AJ Styles. Cross his foot.
and sinful carrying cross. It turns out
Odin with a tenner. 90 to go. Logan Paul with the victory. Let me know what you want to do photo-wise, and I got you. I do like that finisher, but I wish AJ Styles would have got that victory.
This is showing you how deep Logan Paul can pull. He was down, he was out, the knees up, kept it. This is a go.
Pretty good pace. Could have been a little bit better. And we're due for another pop, and hopefully we get Becky Lynch with that pop. I wanted to see a little bit more high flying there. But again, there's not very many things about Logan Paul that I can say that I like, but I do like the finisher though. You got a particular photo of an old school wrestler or anything that you want to be able to see or represent, Odin? Let me know. That Prime money must be good. Good choice. I was thinking that's where you would go. All right, give me a sec here.
And that's time. I did awesome. This is the biggest thing.
All right, we're down to the last two. And hopefully we get Becky Lynch. I think that would probably be the best. I mean, as far as pops are concerned. I mean, if Nikki Bella came out, there would be a pop. I think the loudest pop you could probably get is if it was AJ Lee, but I don't think that is probably very realistic. I think AJ Lee is, regardless if you like CM Punk or don't, I feel that she's universally loved. And, man, what could have been? And I just can't believe when you look at this photo that 2 out of the 4 are no longer with us. Unbelievable.
These were the statistics for the show. 421 total matches, 456 unique individuals in broadcast from 26 different cities. The celebration of WrestleMania. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to be a part of a brand new docuseries which will be airing on Netflix. For the first time, I've stepped into the WWE's writers' room and outside the ring with your favorite WWE.
Too bad, Bo got hurt. It would have been amazing to be able to see, again, when an injury happens, sometimes you have to wait, for the leader to get healthy, man. But things have not really worked out the way that we thought. But still, anything to pay homage to Bray is always going to be worth watching.
Nonetheless, Ariel Cuthbert provided by Goodyear, the best seat in the house since 1925. Happy 100th to the Goodyear.
I miss this.
Plenty of celebrities here tonight.
Right, so many stars are out, and we can't wait to say thank you to them. How about Vanessa Hudgens, singer who
Maybe one day. Vanessa Hudgens, big WWE fan.
and also Rana Dagobani is here. Rana Naidu is now streaming on Netflix. Massive family member of the WWE. Terrence Crawford, the unified welterweight champion, WBA junior middleweight champion, undefeated record, throws hands, and his family has obviously had a blast.
My guy's here. Quavo's here. Quavo's here.
Songwriter, record producer.
He said I was the best rapper in the business.
Quavo is in the building. He really said that. Nobody said anything about you, Cole, but shout out to Quavo and thank you to everybody who spent a night with
25. They have a WWE 2K25 recommended family year. WWE 2K25 is 20% off on all platforms today, bringing you the unique opportunities to rewrite Bloodline family history in 2K Showcase plus intergender battles and more game-changing updates. Ladies and gentlemen, the matchup that is brought to you by Papa John's, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defend the women's tag team titles against Lyra Valkyria. And hopefully she's found a partner. Bailey's attacked yesterday. We'll find out who Lyra's partner will be right now.
All right, who's it going to be? We're going to get Becky Lynch or what? All right, here we go. Let's see if I can squeeze one more photo in here. All right, Liv. And next up, they did Bailey dirty here, but I guess if you want that extra pop, then we're going to get Becky Lynch possibly. We'll see here. Okay, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Obviously, we know this is going to be the main event. And who is going to be the mystery partner here? We have Liv, always looking hot. Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria. Was Bailey. Now mystery partner. Could it be? Will it be Becky Lynch? Paige would be interesting too.
Probably get a little defensive if people think that they're doing things they're not doing. But they are doing a championship title reigns more than anybody else in history. Yeah, 3-time that chance. That's a record. They call themselves the greatest women's tag team of all time.
Oh, baby. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Who would we be more excited to see, though? Would we be more excited to see Paige, or would we be more excited to see Becky Lynch? I think the pop for Becky Lynch would probably be, the highest besides AJ Lee. I think the AJ Lee, just because, no one would expect that, that would be the loudest pop. But I think the Becky pop would be pretty big because she's been off TV for quite some time. Like, how do you have someone that's slated for a match and then they just take them out of it? That's doing Bailey dirty. You think the pop for Paige would be on the same level as AJ Lee? Oh, cool wings. It's kind of a cool look. I don't know. It kind of feels like Becky Lynch to me, but we'll see. Yeah, Becky might be too obvious. You're right. It could be, but I mean, still, when you haven't seen someone for a long time, sometimes, or, a decent amount of time. I mean, unless it's someone from NXT that they're bringing up. Oh, or it could be someone on the roster, like Odin said, like Alexa Bliss could go that route too. Zelina Vega. Yeah, I wonder who is it going to be? Someone on the roster? Someone from NXT? Someone from another federation? Who is it going to be? Becky Lynch, told y'all. There it is. Seth going heel on day one. Becky Lynch, the man, back for night number 2. Let's go. the man. Sometimes the most obvious, you know. But again, whether you like her or you don't like her, you know, I feel like wrestling is better when she's around. And she is one of those that can actually talk on the mic. And awesome. But I don't like the fact that it's to the expense of Bayley. But, you know, it has been a minute since we've seen Becky Lynch. And she's got to be flying high with Seth finally, you know, kind of being the man, you know, being in Roman's shadow and everyone else's shadow for so long. But again, you know, you can be the modern day Macho Man, you know, and you might have a Hulk Hogan in front of you, Roman Reigns, but at some point, you know, you will be the top dog. And I'm definitely excited to see what happens here late. And let's see what kind of ring rust Becky Lynch has. But they are one of the most likable power couples in the business ever. Seth Rollins, good human being, in and out of the ring. Becky, good human being, in and out of the ring. Let's go. She's got a different type of aura and vibe about her too. You know, there's certain wrestlers that, you know, have the it factor. And, you know, if you go back and look at kind of the originals that came in from back in the day, you know, there's something, you know, obviously her getting punched in the nose, you know, from Nia Jax back in the day, and her becoming Becky Two Belts elevated her career. And obviously, is she the biggest? Is she the strongest? No. You know, is she the best in the ring? No. You know, but again, sometimes you don't have to be the biggest, the strongest. If you can cut a promo, you know, and you can see your career, you know, start to go on a, you know, different type of trajectory. You know, again, because again, if you looked at all the people that she came up with, she was probably the least likely to make it. And I always like kind of a story of someone that is doubted and kind of the underdog. And Becky Lynch is one of the biggest underdogs. I mean, if you look at Charlotte and some of the others that she came up with, I'm definitely excited to see what she has to bring here to the match on night number 2. Let's go. That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking heel Seth, heel Becky. You know, you might as well, right? They don't need to be, you know, wrestling, you know, and near each other and whatnot. But I'm ready. I'm ready that she's back. She looks like she's in shape. I saw her on the little comedy show. You know, we knew that she was coming back at some point or another. And we'll see where it goes here tonight. Nice back elbow there. And I really like what we got cooking in the female division in NXT as well, you know, as on the main roster, but especially some of the ladies that are, you know, they're not there yet, but there's a few that are getting close. So it makes you kind of wonder now moving forward, is Becky Lynch going to be like, you know, is this going to be like a tag situation, you know, or is this just a one-time thing and we're going to see Becky on a singles run? I would assume singles run. She's almost like too good to be just in a tag. All right, Lyra. Woo! Oh, nice drop kick to Raquel. There's just so many unique storylines and so many unique females that are in WWE, and, you know, especially some that have gotten kind of a setback like Cora Jade and a few others. Stephanie, obviously, on the NXT scene as well. I'm excited to see kind of the come up. Oh, big kick to the midsection there. 2. Yeah, I could definitely see Becky attacking Lyra at the end. I could see that. I mean, obviously that's the best way to go heel, right? For, you got the baby face there and Lyra.
Champion as well. 3 times the tag champ and a Money in the Bank winner. Here comes Raquel Rodriguez. We mentioned the 3 tag team title reigns for Morgan. She also held a tag team title in Olea, and that makes her a 4-time tag team champion.
Oh, Final Boss is definitely 100% showing up. I mean, especially if it ends up, being Cena with the belt, you're going to get, obviously Cena, you're going to get The Rock, you're going to get Travis Scott, you're going to get Paul Heyman, and you're going to get Seth Rollins standing over Cody Rhodes, if that's the direction that it goes. I mean, especially if Rock doesn't have to wrestle, making an appearance of the faction. I mean, that's the whole buildup.
Just a little bit of friendship, much like Dominic did earlier. This time actually connected with
Oh, nice knee to Lyra. 2. I just like it when we end up getting people coming back when we haven't seen in a while. Again, Becky definitely not the strongest, the fastest, the best, in the ring. But as far as like on the mic, she's one of the better females on the mic. And I don't think anybody can dispute that. 2.
Raquel's got the power. Liv's got the ruthlessness. That's why they're 3-time tag team champions.
Needs the durability here. She has to try and ride out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think, with Becky, again, it's all about, can you, I feel like if you talk on the mic and you're great at it, again, it separates you from everyone else. Like, there can be people that have that physical strength, like a Bianca or a Ripley or, one of those types. But, again, wrestling is about storyline. Wrestling is about, being able to create emotion, and anybody can wrestle, but not everyone can, tell a story on a mic, be believable, have charisma, have the riz, have the swagger. And that really separates, the good from the great and the great from the elite. Like there's been something kind of missing, even though there's so many talented females, Like, I don't think we really need Nikki Bella or Brie Bella back. It's like they had their moment. I mean, if they decide to bring, those 2 ladies back, so be it. But it almost feels like, their time has come and gone. And this new generation is, I'd rather see people like Cora Jade and, and Stephanie and NXT and a few others kind of get a little bit of a push and love instead of just recreating something that we've already seen, with kind of aging vets trying to, get the love again. Not to say that the Bella Army, doesn't support them, but, sometimes it's good to be able to move forward with some new talent. Nice kick by Lyra. Nice back elbow. Oh, Raquel, where are you going? Tag. Here we go. Same thing with Liv, too. You got to think how far down the totem pole Becky and Liv were, and look how far they've come, from the Charlotte Flair and some of those others that they came up with, in that kind of generation and era. Liv has gotten so much better in the ring than what she was when she first came in. Not that she was bad. I mean, no one's been like on that Ronda Rousey level. Becky on the top. Ooh. And obviously Becky had the baby, so had to take some time off, but she's been getting into shape. She looks good. She's got some good speed out there. She's not really sluggish, which is nice to see. The man. Two. Yeah, and again, Becky, I feel like storytelling wise, on the mic, that will make up for some of the inability in the ring. And again, it creates, better matches down the road, when you can have someone that can spit on the mic the way that she does. And on top of that, a lot of ladies like to pour on the makeup super heavy, and Becky, can go all natural. And again, I feel as far as being natural, she's one of the prettiest that, we have seen in WWE in a long time that, doesn't need to pour on, all the makeup to look good. She's naturally beautiful. Wow, look at this. Raquel. Woo! Nice counter there by Lyra. Oh, damn. She fell a little hard there. Okay, now what do we get here? Are we going to get any type of heel turn right here? Let me pull your hand up, Lyra, and let me give you a clothesline after the hug. I believe they only have one kid. I just want to be able to hear promos. I want to hear the shit talking come out. I don't know, but I feel like, again, she's not the strongest. She's not the fastest. She's not the smoothest in the ring, but I feel like on the microphone, she might be the best. Again, there's others that are decent, but obviously, if you're linked with Seth, lots of time to be able to practice and to be able to get your mic skills on point. Seth is one of the greatest on the mic, and she's learned a lot from him, but she was already great, I feel, on the mic even before they started dating. So, and then obviously having a kid together and being together. So, all right. We're down to the nitty gritty now. I mean, shit, if I was Seth Rollins and I had my pick, I would choose Becky. I would do the same thing. That would be exactly the person that I would choose. Seth and Becky are both lucky to have each other. I'm glad to be able to see both of them on top here in 2025. All right, baby. Here we are. Cody Rhodes, John Cena. Oh, baby.
Another dig, another drumstick coming soon. Following WrestleMania, WWE Backlash, Empire Center, St. Louis, Missouri, on Saturday, May 10th. That's 3 weeks from yesterday. Tickets on sale now.
Let's go, baby.
Wrestlemania highlight of he's brought to you by the official attraction.
This is the electricity that we've been waiting for. Can't wait to be able to see. I don't know if I'm more excited about the match itself or about the aftermath after the match or that leads up to the ending. Just like kind of what we had with CM Punk and Roman and Seth. Like the match was super entertaining. We were fully engaged. We knew Heyman was going to have the heel turn, against Roman. Figured it would be against CM Punk, and then we finally got to see it instead of just being rumored, online. And I'm very interested to see what we get here. I want to see Seth out there. I want to see Paul Heyman out there. I want to see The Rock, Dwayne Johnson out there. They don't really need Travis Scott out there. He's kind of like the Dennis Rodman of the NWO, where he's just kind of there, but and then Cena can end up having the belt as a heel, breaking the record. Sorry, Ric Flair. And it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think that's like kind of the most likely outcome. I mean, Cody retaining, I think, would be shocking. But again, you never know in wrestling, especially in this Triple H era, right? Anything is possible. Like, we didn't think Jacob Fatu was ready. They gave him gold. We definitely didn't think Dom was ready. Jacob Fatu more deserving than Dom, and then already Dom with gold. So, we used to be able to predict, matches, regardless, even if you were like a guy that didn't watch SmackDown, Raw, or NXT regularly, you might be able to predict a lot of the winners, in the Vince McMahon era. Maybe not the endings all the time, but you were able to predict the winners. But in this Triple H era, you may not be able to predict, let alone the winner of the match or how it ends, but it may give you that full-blown surprise. Can't wait to see what we get here. Stone Cold! Stone Cold! What? One of my all-time faves. Love me. Some Stone Cold, baby. I mean, you're never going to see Stone Cold Rock ever again. That was something really, really special. They could both be face. They could both be heel. Obviously Stone Cold going against the boss and Vince McMahon. Everyone can relate. The Rock's progression, being Rocky Maivia and the Nation in Domination, and then moving progressively up and up and up. But there's definitely something very special, not only about The Rock, but something very special about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Wow. Coming down with the quad, baby. Stone Cold's a great human being, too. He would be someone that, any fan would love to have a beer with, hang out with. Stone Cold's like, too many beers. I crashed. I mean, you're not going to see him wrestle ever again. Love me some Stone Cold, baby. And they need to go back to the show that he had where, they would end up doing certain things, with celebrities and whatnot. It was entertaining. Oh, hell yeah. Way better than day one, night one.
Tonight's attendance at night 2 of WrestleMania. And tonight's attendance is officially 63,000.
Better than yesterday.
226.
I feel like tonight has been like a 10 and yesterday was like a 7.5. It's like night and day difference.
63,226 people here. So I demand a recount. Sometimes when you want job done right, you've got to do that job yourself. So I want everybody to sit down and remain still. Here it goes. 1, 2, 3.
Dude, Stone Cold is a fucking wrestling god. What? Oh my God. Oh my God.
226 every night. And that makes for a total of 2 days at WrestleMania, 124,693 solid tickets.
Hell yeah. 124,693. Just wish the crowd was like this yesterday.
On next WrestleMania, and that's
The bottom line, Stone Cold said so. And one of my favorite wrestling figures that I own in my extensive collection is a Japanese Stone Cold that I'm looking at right now. And they don't make regular, figures, with the elites and the regular figures. 4 heads, couple pairs of hands, comes with beer cans with beer coming out. And I remember hand picking it at Toys R Us before it closed down. And it is epic. Still haven't opened it up, and I probably never will. But it's a solid $100 Stone Cold figure, and he loves beer, and I love the figures that have the beer. The only one that they've ever created with beer cans was Stone Cold. It is epic. Stone Cold, you the man. Great person to come out to, give the numbers. But here's one where someone actually took it out of the package. Unfortunately, I'm not going to because it's like mint. But these Japanese wrestling figure creators, it's epic. And again, 4 different heads, different hands, beer cans with the beer coming out. That's how you make a goddamn wrestling figure, baby. Can we get a shocker and Cody retains and loses at Backlash to Cena? Oh, 100%. We could. That could happen. It really depends on, Triple H and, the creative committee, on how they want to do this. I think the most likely ending is Cena getting the belt now at Mania, his last Mania, right? And then having, Heyman there, Seth Rollins there, Travis Scott there, The Rock there, standing over Cody. And then you got kind of a new faction, and the story, has been building up to this point. But again, it is also possible, Cody wins. But again, if Cody wins, right, are we actually going to get all the other individuals? Because if Cody wins, you're not going to probably get Seth and Paul coming out. If Cody wins, you probably don't get Travis Scott and The Rock coming out unless they come out to try to cheat, to try to help him win at the end. But it'll be very interesting. I guess you could have Seth and Paul Heyman coming out at the very, very end after Travis Scott and The Rock and whatnot. But kind of feels like, if this is Cena's last year, and it's not necessarily just playing homage. But again, if John Cena was a face, I feel like this whole buildup, it doesn't really mean anything. Like, John Cena is an icon, but it's like we've seen that, he's done that. But the simple fact to go heel when no one thought that he would, it definitely gives you a new sparked interest in John Cena, whether you love him or hate him. Obviously, his wrestling style isn't for everyone. But again, I love factions. I love Seth Rollins. I love Paul Heyman. I love The Rock. Obviously, we know Travis Scott is, a great rapper. They don't really need him. A part of the story. He's like the Dennis Rodman of the NWO. He's just kind of there, as part of the entourage, so to speak. But I don't know. We will wait and see. Cody has had moments and again, Cody had his moment against Roman, and Cody's going to have plenty of more moments, down the road. This is Cena's, kind of, farewell tour, right, so to speak. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. But if we ended up having Seth with Paul Heyman, it kind of makes sense to be able to have the Rock and Travis Scott and those two with Cena standing over Cody Rhodes' body with the belt on Cena's shoulder. You know, I like factions. That's kind of what I want to see. And I think that's probably the most plausible outcome. But knowing WWE, nobody fucking knows, you know? I mean, did we really have it penciled in that Jacob Fatu was going to win over LA Knight? Fuck no. Like, was he deserving? Of course. But you just didn't think it was going to happen yet, right? And Dominic, even, you know, that's even more of a shock than Fatu. Fatu was me deserving. But Dom, I don't know, you know, if he's really deserving of it yet. It seems like it's like a year or two early, but that's what makes WWE the king of the wrestling business. You just never know. And it makes you want to, you know, what happens on Raw, what happens on NXT, what happens on SmackDown. And I can't wait for this main event. Ooh, I haven't watched Pat McAfee on a regular basis in a minute, but if that is the case, I might have to tune in. Now, too bad it wasn't Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, right? Then and Cena. Then I definitely would be tuning in. Stone Cold stuns The Rock. And we have, man, Stone Cold, I mean, we just saw him. That would be wild. I don't think anyone would be anticipating that. Like, Rock comes in to try to cheat. Stone Cold runs down and gives him a stunner. And then, of course, if that did happen, Rock would sell it and like flip over like 5 times like he did in the past. That would be some crazy shit. So I don't really know what to expect, but I'm definitely ready. I can't believe we're already at the end of WrestleMania. We got 54 minutes to go. It's been a fantastic weekend. Mariners ended up winning the series over the Blue Jays. And again, I think yesterday could have been much better. The crowd was shit. You know, the crowd was a 0 yesterday. Today, the crowd is, you know, a 9 or a 10. It's been pretty loud and lively throughout every match. Some matches were much better than anticipated. You know, like with the Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, I don't think anyone anticipated that. You had some nice surprises. You got the little Joe Hendry, right? You ended up having Dom winning. You had Jacob Fatu yesterday. But overall, it's been a night and day difference with the crowd and the energy for night number 2 compared to night number 1. All right, here we go. You know what it is, baby. I don't know. And also, too, like, I want to be able to see Cena walk down with an entourage, you know, not necessarily like right now, but I'm saying before his time is up, I want to be able to see like an NWO, Cena, Rock, Paul Heyman, right? Seth Rollins, Travis Scott. I want to be able to feel like an NWO of the 2025 era with Cena as the leader, you know, besides obviously The Rock, you know, and a couple of these other guys managing, but I love factions. And what do we got here on the towel? Black, too, as well. The last time is now. Cool looking towel. That shirt is going to sell very well there in Vegas. Black is always a fire look. My favorite color for tees, by far. Black wrestling tees always shine. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what promotion. You know, really doesn't even matter what graphic is on it. Just, you know, it's clean. And obviously, Black being heel. I'm ready.
But the odds do not bode well for John Cena. His last singles win was 7 years ago.
But obviously, you know, Cena's not going to win it clean. He's going to win it with cheating and help. So, you know, you're a heel. You're never going to do it, you know, clean one-on-one. You don't need to. We lie, we cheat, we steal. Eddie Guerrero, do it.
The eventual partner of WrestleMania. America's favorite.
When's the last time that we felt this kind of anticipation? Cody and Roman, But even with Cody and Roman, like you knew, Cody was going to end up getting it at some point or another. And that bloodline storyline was one of the best storylines, even though a lot of us got kind of sick and tired of Roman, continuing to have the belt for years and years and years. But then after he left TV, we kind of wish that he was back because he has that aura and that vibe, and wrestling is better when he's in it. But I feel like the possibilities are limitless with WWE moving forward. No company will ever catch up. AEW, congratulations, being on TV longer than Nitro. But again, eventually some of the big names over there like MJF, and hopefully we end up seeing, Mariah May, Dr. Britt Baker, and a few others. But I can't wait to see what direction we go in the Cena era, as well as, post Cena after he's gone. I mean, there's so many possibilities, and it's exciting. What do we got going on here with the dirt bikes? Man, they're really going all out, aren't they? And you're definitely going to hear the crowd, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and you'll get the John Cena sucks, and it'll go back and forth, and this is going to be sweet. Hell yeah, look at the headpiece. Yeah, I love it. That's fire. That is fire. Fire jacket. Oh, Iron Man. You got to be kidding me. Oh, incredible. I need one. Oh, my God. Fire. Are you kidding me? The whole Iron Man flip up. Wow. Let's go. That's incredible. One of the best masks I've ever seen. Incredible. And Cody is so much more likable as a face than John Cena was, And I think, in the ring, a more entertaining wrestler as well. Now, I know Lenny D loves John Cena, and again, his style, a little robotic, in the ring, but obviously you can't deny all the titles and obviously the push by Vince and everything that he was able to accomplish from, Word Life, John Cena, to obviously being the face of the company for many, many years and whatnot. But I think it really comes down to, style of wrestling, likability. And again, John Cena did a lot for the kids, for the Make-A-Wish. But I don't know if we've ever seen a face. And when Cody goes heel, it's going to be amazing. Because again, he's a guy that can spit on the mic, even with the lisp. But as far as being the face of a company, you couldn't ask for a better individual like this. Wow. I mean, the perfect person to kind of take that spot, But again, it's not like Cody Rhodes is going to be a face for the rest of his career. You best believe he will go heel, and when he does, it will be fucking incredible. The real question is when Cody goes heel, who will he be going against, and who will be the face of the company at that point? That's the real question, and that's quite a ways down the road, long-term storytelling. Oh, his daughter is there. Wifey is there, looking great. Brandy, looking beautiful as ever. So I need another kiss. Family is all there. Mom is there. Long-term storytelling. You got the signs, you got the vibe, you got the stage. The fans finally showed up on night number 2. And I honestly feel, if it wasn't for the main event and, Fatu winning, there's not really a whole lot to remember. And obviously main event Jey Uso, even though that got the most dislikes, based off the, match, kind of likes, dislikes on YouTube and other social media. But this is going to be history in the making. Tell him, Alicia. I love John Cena as heel too. I love heel overall, anybody. I think the only thing that, would have been better is if we could have got new theme music and, new gear. But again, he's not doing anything for the fans to go super heel. It's like, you don't deserve new music, even though it would have been really cool to have new music, and new gear. But I totally understand the psychology behind it. Dusty Rhodes would be so proud right now. His brother, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, super proud. Imagine if they never got Cody Rhodes to come back. I mean, to leave the company, start another one with the Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, to have some amazing matches, in that particular, organization, and then to come back, and then for him not to be sent to mid-card hell, and then to be able to get to the pinnacle of the top, to be the one to beat Roman. And now with Cena, I mean, this is something that even himself probably wouldn't have been able to envision 5 to 10 years ago. I'm loving every second of this. Yeah, and again, Cena doesn't have to wrestle. Cena doesn't have to be clean. Cena can cheat. Cena can do anything and everything that he wants in this heel version of himself. I'm gonna be honest, even if you're not a John Cena guy, I'm gonna be a little sad when he's gone. I know some people are like big LeBron guys, and it's gonna be weird, even though the NBA isn't the greatest anymore. But I don't know. I just seeing your favorite icons or people that you loved watching over a period of time leave. Make sure you're soaking this moment in, because it'll be something that you won't forget. And it kind of gives you that Rock Hogan vibe a little bit too, right? The little back and forth. People love Cena. People hate Cena. People love Cody. People don't like Cody. And it's definitely opening the same way as Rock and Hogan in the early 2000s.
Can John Cena pull off what many think is the unthinkable tonight? Absolutely.
And especially with Cena and Rock having such epic matches, 12, 13, 14 years ago, and then to be able to be like linked together, it's like so ironic, but so cool. And it's better as heels, not faces. And we'll see if the crowd will sing together. Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. Again, if this was obviously a European crowd, it would be going fucking bananas, or even in Canada. That's a big part of wrestling for me, is the crowd. I love the chanting and the singing and everyone involved together, but lots of personalities here in Vegas. I want to hear something rather than let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Let's be a little bit more creative out there. Now, I'm a big Seth guy. I love Becky. I love Jacob Fatu. I love the direction of things that have happened up to this point, especially since night one was a little bit of a disappointment crowd-wise, and a few matches could have been better. But again, let's be honest. If the crowd was like this on day one, night one, a lot of those matches that were underwhelming would have been, much better overall number-wise. You know what this reminds me of also? Hogan and NWO back in the day, like against Sting and against Goldberg. It kind of gives you those type of vibes. It's been a minute. I mean, besides Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. But Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns was more David Goliath. With this, it feels like it's more even.
Cody's 0-4 against Cena in his career, but wait, those numbers could probably be tossed out the window. That was well over a decade ago.
Yeah, Cena's wrestling style definitely not, not going to be for everyone, but it's his ability to spit on the mic, that really separates him you know, and the evolution of who he is. Now, did he obviously get a big push by Vince? Of course. You know, if it wasn't for Vince McMahon, John Cena's not here, you know, in this position today. But again, you know, he also earned a lot after, you know, getting the opportunities from Vince. And it's nice to be able to see the evolution, even though it is coming to an end. Because again, if Cena didn't go heel, we're not really fully invested in this, you know. And I'm really happy that they went that route. Leaving as a heel is not going to tarnish the legacy, whatsoever. Cody? Oh, nice suicide dive there.
John Cena can't wrestle, and now Cody's wrestling his best as down. John Cena wants to prove to the world that he can't wrestle tonight. Hence yet another side headlock on Rhodes, who backs him into the corner.
Yeah, but also I think the John Cena can't wrestle. You have to look at his body frame. John Cena is top heavy, you know, and he's not super heavyweight, you know, as far as like being like, you know, like he's not built like Obafemi, you know, he's not like that, you know, he has a certain type of build that not every wrestler looks like him. You know what I'm saying? So there's only going to be a certain type of move set, but again, so it doesn't apply to everyone, you know, based on if they enjoy watching him with the certain moves. But there are certain things that he created, you know, that kind of take it to a certain level. I don't know if everyone enjoys the shoulder checks, you know, and certain moves that he does. But remember, you know, even growing up as an OG, look at Hulk Hogan and the moveset that he did, you know, a little body slam, you know, obviously big boot, leg drop. It really wasn't the greatest moveset at that time either. So we have to remember that, you know, Hogan's moveset could have been a hell of a lot better. And, you know, based on his body size, it was kind of generic and not the greatest either. So. And I do believe you are going to see Cena pull out some stuff in this farewell tour that you may have not seen since the early part of his career, or maybe moves that he hasn't done in a minute, or maybe even adding a new move that maybe we didn't think that he could do. Submission wise, other things. Especially a guy like Cody, who's in the ring each and every week. 4 days a week. Oh, Cena is a narcissist. You know that. Anything that you watched, you know, he definitely has OCD times a billion, you know. Like seeing those episodes where Nikki tried to cook for him and he didn't even give a shit. Like, you know, she wanted kids. He didn't. You know, it was very clear they were attracted to each other, but it was never going to lead to marriage or kids.
It's not like what we've seen before from John. Those are two just big kicks that cleared out Cody Rhodes. A big lariat there. John Cena's got
Cena chants in the background here in Vegas. Nice selling by Cody Rhodes with the flip back to back. Just a 1 count.
Shoulders of Cody Rhodes. It's not just a championship match here. He is trying to defend the future of this industry, the legacy of that championship that has so much history behind it.
Yeah, and again, Cena's style of wrestling isn't going to be for everyone, but really his microphone skill set is top notch. There's not very many, you know, that can spit on the mic. You know, he enunciates. He's incredibly smart. You know, and again, he can cut a promo better than 99% of the people. You know, again, we know The Rock can do it. Stone Cold can do it. There's a few guys on the roster now that can do it, but you know, there's a reason that he succeeded in Hollywood after The Rock, even though he might have been a hypocrite of The Rock early on, you know, but then when he got his chance to do Hollywood too, he's taken full advantage of it.
Right now, it's a confidence. John feels like he's back in this thing. He feels like he's at home. That's his
Did you see the Cena collection that they released with all like the throwback stuff? I like that Mitchell and Ness, jerseys with the throwbacks and the chains. I love that John Cena. Coming on the come up.
We'll talk about the pressure on John Cena's shoulders, his final ever WrestleMania. If he loses this match, what happens to the rest of this retirement tour?
And though, even though they could have went and had a heel turn with Cena in like 2012 and been like the leader of the NWO at that point and kind of made his own NWO, but then this moment here wouldn't be as big. It would still be big, but it would have been interesting if, that would have happened and who would have been a part of the group back then.
Yeah, he rode an early storm from Cody Rhodes, and now he's dictating the pace and turning this into the kind of fight that motivates John Cena, but just a little too slow on those roads against the best on planet Earth.
That's it well too many times, and our champion's not going to let that happen. Cody trying to fight back with a big
Oh, nice eye poke there.
Official, senior official, Chad Kent, I don't believe so.
And when you're like super, super over as a heel is when they start cheering you like a face, like the NWO. Like, it was supposed to be like, Goldberg, Sting before he joined, and then you got guys with that swagger, with Hogan and Hall and Nash and everyone that they added on, Ted DiBiase, the Giant, and then they ended up getting the cheers, even though they were supposed to be the bad guys.
The spirit, the will of Cody Rhodes. John Cena's record just to the
I'm almost curious too if Cena, once he wins the belt, ooh, nice DDT there. Okay, Cena. 2, like if he does win before he's gone, will we see the chain back? Will we see the throwback jersey on at least once, before he's gone? Like a little piece of me wants that. And I don't really want to see like the custom Cena 54. Like give me like a throwback jersey with the fucking big ass chain like from back in the day. I don't need to have it for like every single, event, but like I kind of want to see it like just one more time before he's gone. Shoulder tackle.
Every time there's a break in the action, John Cena's mouthing trash to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, shoulder check kind of underwhelming, like the spear. It doesn't really give you that effect. I mean, unless you're doing it like Goldberg or Braun Breaker. And obviously the shoulder check because he's so, top heavy.
This has gone horribly wrong for the champ.
The slow motion on those that John Cena's doing. Just a matter of fact, the moves. I mean, you sort of got to applaud what Cena's been able to do tonight. And we all know where this is headed. Shoulder tap. Shoulder tap. Oh! Cody, hook to the eye. No fight knuckle shuffle. Cody, there it comes.
Uh-oh, Cody's hulking up. He's hulking. I heard my pup outside. She was like, Dad, I need to be in. You want to come in? You can come in. 2. Come lay down in here, honey. Daddy's almost done. We'll go for a walk after this. We still got another Probably 30 minutes, 31 minutes to go. Come in here, lay down, honey. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. There you go. Daddy loves you. Good girl. She misses dad. Oh, AA. 2. Ref was counting pretty quick there. A little AA. The FU. Reefer, my boy. I hope you had a good holiday celebration. I imagine you got caught up after your Laos New Year. You know, it's crazy. I used to play ball with a few homies that were from Laos when I was growing up here in Oregon. But hopefully the celebration was good. I hope that you got fully caught up on Mania night number 1. Good to see you, my guy. We missed you. I figured you would be coming in at some point, you know, if you had the time. But again, family and obligations always come first. But we missed you, man. And night number 2 has been a hell of a lot better than night number 1. I mean, it's a night and day difference. Maybe a 7.5 on night 1, and I think night 2 has been a 10. Especially with that opening triple threat. That might have been one of the best triple threat matches I've seen, male or female, ever in my life. And I've been watching wrestling for 40 years. So, incredible. Oh, I bet, man. Glad you had a good time. Yeah, I just don't see any scenario of Cody winning, especially with this Seth Paul Heyman turn. Wow, 1, 2. But you know there's going to be a run-in, you know. Rock, Travis Scott, and then maybe after that, Heyman and Seth Rollins. And I need to be able to see them 5 with Cena with the belt on his shoulder and Cody Rhodes laid out in the middle of the ring. Crowd was terrible, Reefer. At a scale of like 1 to 10 in crowd was a 0. It almost felt like there was a bunch of rich people, but they just didn't have any passion and weren't cheering or chanting. And there was a few matches where they could have been better, you know, and obviously like the Gunther main event, Jey Uso, you know, obviously you knew Jey was going to win if they opened with that. They're not going to have him lose and start off the PLE on a negative note. So that was already, you know, foreshadowing at its finest. But obviously Jacob Fatu winning, that made me get excited there. 1, 2, 2. And that was surprising. So that was great to see. And then obviously the main event with the, you know, heel turn with Heyman, which the writing was already on the wall from the last few weeks. And obviously low blow to CM Punk, low blow to Roman. And, you know, obviously having Seth, my favorite, and has been my favorite in WWE for a long fucking time since he joined the Shield. I'm really loving what we're getting right now and from yesterday. Just wish the crowd was better. Cody Cutter. 2. This ref is counting hella fast. Yeah, I mean, it's not even close. And again, if the crowd actually fucking participated, you know, could you imagine if like this was in Europe? You know, like how good the crowd would have been. Night 1 would have been like a 9. And night 2 would have been a 10 or an 11. Even with some of the matches, you know, not being as good as night 2, the crowd singing, you know, like if this was in Canada or in Europe, we would be getting the Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, but we're not even getting it here, which is a damn shame. American crowds are fucking spoiled. Oh, baby. F-U. Hey. Oh, here we go. Spin him around. Yeah, baby. Give me an STF. And I will be doing Monday Night Raw here on the channel since the Mariners have a day off. So not sure if you're going to be available. I don't know what we're going to get for a Monday Night Raw, but anything after a Mania I'm going to do. So there we go. Get that position, Cena. And I'm glad Cena got the haircut. too. He's not looking all scraggly here on Mania. Well, I think a majority, regardless if you like Cena or like Cody, based on Seth and Heyman yesterday, I think the writing is kind of on the wall. The chances of Cody winning here is like 1%. I feel for most fans if you actually follow wrestling, But we have been surprised. Dominic Mysterio today, Jacob Fatu yesterday, so you don't really know. And now the ref is down. Okay, but now here is the time where you're going to have The Rock or Travis Scott come out pretty soon, you would assume. 2, 3, but it doesn't count. He said, R-Truth attacked Cena. Dude, R-Truth is a fucking OG. Like, how many guys that could be like 50? Hell, R-Truth could go in this company until he's like fucking 60 or 70. The guy doesn't fucking age. Heel Cena, dirty Cena, the best Cena. I need a little 5-knuckle shuffle. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. F-U, 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 A. Bang! Ref, wake up! 2. Can't let him win that easy. You got to stretch it out. We still got 27 minutes to go. Obviously, there'll be a celebration period. You knew it, baby. There it is. You knew that was going to happen. Appreciate you, brother. Very, very much. Happy Laos New Year, my brother.
Travis Scott is here. The Jack Boys are in the building too. Shaq West and Jason Williams.
Reefer holding it down with Odin. Appreciate you. Bang! $100 dono. Thank you so much, man. And again, I got to take care of Paisley. I got bills to pay. Things have been pretty fucking light, in 2025. And it's always nice to be able to feel appreciated. Odin, I appreciate you. Reefer, I appreciate you. Stacks, Rax, Jack, bang, bang. Thank you, man. And again, Paisley's dog food, it costs, like $80 for me to be able to take her to the groomer. It's going to cost me $40 to get her nails trimmed and dremeled and to be able to do a self-wash. My internet bill usually is over $100. My streaming bill is usually like almost $50. So again, I need support to be able to continue to do this, full time. And thank you so much, man. You have no idea how much that is going to, help, considering how things have been so light lately, not only in January and February, but also here in March and April. So thank you, Odin. Thank you, Reefer. It really does mean more than you understand. Thank you so much.
Travis Scott on the apron, calling the shots. A dangerous situation here. Cody Rhodes up fighting back. Cody now went up for shot the top of the floor. Now Cody Rhodes goes back to Cena. Cody Rhodes went over a crossroads on John Cena. Crossroads on Cena. Here's the cover.
There you go. And once you got Travis Scott out there, you already know who's coming out next. It's a progression thing here, the build-up. You know what? That would be dope. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that, that would be like I said, I want to be able to see this group. Travis Scott, The Rock, Cena, Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins. I need that in my life. And obviously the Travis Scott is like the Dennis Rodman of this, particular, faction. You don't really need him, even though they're using the song and whatnot, but it definitely gives me Rodman vibes.
Oh no! Cody Rhodes isn't going to let that happen again. Rhodes is getting in position.
There we go. Nice job by Travis Scott. He almost fell to not sell it there. Good thing to be able to get his footwork correct right there, so that way he didn't like non-sell that. That was good by Travis. And we'll get some photos for Reefer and Odin here after the show as well. Got some for Odin early on. We'll get some for Reefer too. We're about to get The Rock here in just a moment. The Dwayne Johnson. Nice. Little low blow. There we go, baby. I love it. I fucking love it. It's too early to have it end here. Oh my God, it ended. Wow, let's go. I did not think it would end this soon. That's why WWE is king right now, because you just never know when the match is going to end. You kind of have an idea who may win. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. Jacob Fatu, surprising. Dominic, even more surprising. But now give me the final boss, and let me get Seth and Paul Heyman to come out as well. This was so shocking. I did not think that. I felt like maybe someone was going to run out for Cody or something. Cody has a little bit of a comeback, a little bit more of a back and forth. Looks like Cody's going to win. Then the final boss comes out, evens the score. And then at the very, very end, then you can bring out, Heyman and obviously Seth Rollins. So, but again, shocking that they ended it that soon. But we all knew that this was going to happen. Face Cena, not for everyone. Heel Cena, let's go. And, everyone is going to be celebrating, besides Ric Flair. Let's fucking go. It makes you kind of wonder, that like the, us as like wrestling, quote unquote, sleuth experts, that maybe with everyone thinking that was the way that things were going to end, and maybe that was the original plan, but then Triple H decided to pivot and say, everyone thinks that this is going to be the way that it ends. Let's do it like this to give a little swerve, so that way people are going to want to pay attention on Raw or moving forward, and again, I know Triple H in interview says, they think that we're going to pivot, but we're not going to do that. You just never know what's going to happen. But I really do think that maybe that original ending was how they were going to do it. People started talking about it, posting it, and maybe they didn't want to, kind of finish it the way that some of the people on the internet or us thought that they were going to finish it off. Because I don't think anybody thought it was going to end this quick. I mean, we're still quite a bit away. We're 19 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Like I was ready for another 10 or 15 minutes of wrestling, and then maybe a little 5-minute celebration with the new squad and the new faction. I'm not mad with the end result. That's the result I thought we were going to get, but I did not think it was going to end that soon. I got the vintage headband and wristbands still in one of my drawers from a show that I went to, back in like Seattle years ago. Like we're talking about way, way, way back in the day. And I like it too because it's like the purple version, and in the purple version didn't last very long, and I had to scoop that up. I think we're still in shock right now that it ended as soon as it did. No Rock, no Seth Rollins, no Paul Heyman. WWE has a way of just keeping you on your fucking heels. And anytime you think you got them figured it out, Triple H says, nope. You think you got it? No, you don't. I will be live for Raw on Monday night. Anything that you want photo-wise, Reefer? I just can't believe they ended it like this. Like, what happened to the last 17 minutes? I mean, seeing The Rock out there, seeing Seth Rollins out there, Paul Heyman, like, I'm happy with the result, but gosh, I just really wanted to hear that pop for The Rock. I really wanted to hear that super pop for Heyman and Seth coming down and then having them stand over the top of Cody. Like, that would have just, I know that's what some of us were expecting, and maybe that's why they pivoted. Yeah, awesome Mariner victory. A Demo homering and Cal homering, #1 in MLB. Getting that series win against the Blue Jays. Reefer? Yeah, he was. He was. Any photos that I can get for you, Reefer, before you go? And I will be doing Monday Night Raw live here on the channel. Some people may be able to make it. Some may not. But anytime you end up having a Mania and then you have a Raw after, there definitely will be typically some kind of surprise or something that we're going to get that we didn't get at Mania. And then after we throw up a few for Reefer, obviously, we can throw up a couple more for Odin as well. But you guys, it really means a lot because, again, I got things I have to take care of. I have to make sure that the basics are, being taken care of. And, it's been a struggle and it's been challenging in 2025. So it really means a lot. I appreciate the two of you very, very much. And hopefully we'll get more in the future to be able to show some love and support as well. I mean, especially yesterday. Fuck, I mean, I sat in the goddamn chair for like 8-10 hours straight. I was prepping at like 10:30 a.m. Mariners game went like fucking 4 hours. I even had to cut it off in the bottom of the 12th after Rowdy hit the grand slam. Boom, went into 4 hours of Mania. Crazy story. After I ended up, doing that long back-to-back stream, I took Paisley on an hour walk, which is a lot longer. And I was walking about 2, 3, 4 miles away from my house in the pitch, darkness near this park, right? This guy rolls down his window and he says, have you seen a guy looking for a dog? And I said, no, but I've been out here for about an hour. And the guy goes, Orion? And I go, yeah. And he's like, oh, it's me, Jason. And literally, I haven't seen this guy in like 20 fucking years. I used to work with him. Like, what are the chances of me running into someone that I haven't seen 20 years, as I'm in the pitch darkness walking my dog? Had a nice little 5-minute combo and whatnot. Is one of the guys I used to sell with, doing cable internet and phone. But it's a weird thing. Like, it's a small world. Like, if I wasn't on that street and he didn't drive by in that very moment, I would have never crossed paths. It's very weird, but things are meant to happen for a reason. Yeah, man, we missed you. I wish you could have been here for the other stream, but I'm glad you were able to be here for the main event. And on top of that, showing so much gratitude and love and support for me and the hard work on the channel. I mean, I'll be honest, I do feel underappreciated a lot of the time, but anytime we can end up, getting something like that to help me take care of my pup, take care of the basics that I need to continue to grind here on the channel every day, doing the dream and the goals. It really means a lot. I appreciate you. Anything you want to be able to see, man, before we end up taking off? I mean, I got a solid 10 minutes for photos if you want them, unless you have to go. But I was thinking I'll throw up some John Cena vintage here. And if there's anything that you want to be able to see, just holler. And I got you. And then I got to go take my pup on a long, 30 to hour walk here. And man, WrestleMania, huh?
Las Vegas, live above WrestleMania 41's conclusion at Allegiant Stadium, where 64,000 fans are spilling outside after history was just made. The WrestleMania post show is.
And I'm definitely watching this post show for a little bit. All right, I'm going to get a couple more photos up. As far as Odin, anything else that you want to be able to see photo-wise? I salute Odin. I salute Reefer. WrestleMania 41. That was one for the books. Night 2 was a hell of a lot better than night 1. And again, we'll do Monday Night Raw tomorrow. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, obviously we go to travel to Boston. They'll go against Judah and Britt's Red Sox. And I'll be doing those, obviously in the middle of the week.
As well as listening into what John Cena says when he goes to the press conference. We'll go right to the highlights.
Let's do it.
What took place. Look, John Cena came out with a no-frills entrance. He didn't come out in new gear. He wasn't here to impress the fans. He wasn't here to cater to the fans. All he was here to do is win the WWE Championship and unseat Ric Flair and become a...
Everyone's happy except for Ric Flair.
This was earlier in the match. Back and forth, they would go. This was a critical moment.
Me and Sarah obviously got the pleasure to have the follows by John on socials.
He hit the crossroads, and we thought things would just be fine for a title retention, but there was a special referee here. Yeah, that moment, Cody hits his crossroads, gets his pin, Jack backs out. You knew there could be trouble, and of course, here.
I mean, NWO Cena back in like 2012 would have been like so fucking epic. But again, then, doing this last year, made it even more unbelievable because just no one thought, if it was going to happen, it would have happened, 12, 13 years ago. Because when you're NWO, you're NWO for life, brother. Yeah, I did. I did see that. Stone Cold, too many beers.
Champion. He returned tonight in the middle of the championship match. Cody ended up on first take on Friday. Cody told me, if I see Travis Scott, I'm getting that receipt. He got it, hit it with the crossroads, but in the end, of course, Travis missed the last time. I have to say, guys, never envisioned Travis Scott being involved in John Cena's record-setting championship. Being involved, Cody was set to win, and he pulled the referee, Chad Patton, out of the ring. So for a second time, Patton was down and out. And
love me some NWO, baby.
And Travis Scott was invited to see him face to face. And Big E, here's the receipt. And Cody was very open about that receipt that would be given here tonight. And he did.
And again, everything is long-term storytelling. And eventually, we will end up seeing, something like this again. But, we'll just add a couple other guys to the mix. I just need a little Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins added to the clique. Shit, man. Could you imagine the merch sales? And could you imagine, like, if he's the Hogan of the newer generation, like, who would have been a part of the NWO at that point? They wouldn't even need to go Wolfpack. They could just do black and white.
But a hit to the private parts and a championship belt shot to the head and a cover and a win. And with that, John Cena is the undisputed WWE champion. Let's go to Kathy Kelly.
Yeah, thanks so much, Joe. I am standing outside the bus of former undisputed
Kathy Kelly, beautiful as ever.
So surreal to say he is
That man in the building. What's good?
company for the last calendar year. I mean, even going back holding that championship for 370.
You're a lifesaver, Reefer. Same thing with you, Odin.
You know, this man spent years.
Appreciate the two of y'all.
His story, only to watch it unravel at the hands of Travis Scott and John Cena. Cody, can we get a word with you? What's next? Totally understandable. Well, that is the Cody Rhodes we have not seen in a minute.
Kathy, I know you're very close with Cody.
Yeah.
How would you describe the look in his eyes as he just interacted with you?
I mean, it looks like he is very somber. He is devastated. He is still processing all of this. I mean, we talk about how hard he fought to get here and to watch it just lose everything that he's worked for, lose everything that he's built, lose everything that he loves just because of John Cena and Travis Scott.
Fucking love it.
Processing it. I can't imagine how he feels.
Kathy, we're going to let you do your job. I know you're probably going to station yourself right there and see if the opportunity does exist to catch up with Cody Rhodes. Very understandable, though, that he has to gather himself.
Reefer, anything else you want to be able to see, brother? Cena 17, Flair 16, Triple H 14, Orton 14, Hogan 12.
17 championship for John Cena. Getting there the way that he did is crazy. Now listen, guys, they're not going to put that match in the loop. Okay? Not at all. They will not. It was a clunker in many ways. But guess what? There is poetry for John Cena. He heard the fans all those years. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. And
Cena 9, Triple H 9, Flair and Roman with 7.
I'm going to ground and pound, double axe handles, moves we've never seen, and in the end, you can see
Odin's going to cut the post show there. Appreciate you, Odin. I'll be doing Raw again tomorrow at 5 o'clock Pacific. Raw after Mania always is entertaining. Reefer, anything else that I can put up for you before we go?
He said, I'm not going to make any changes to the way I look, to the way I come out. That WrestleMania entrance was one of the simplest, most minimalist entrances you'll ever see. All black, simple. He was just there to win. He wasn't there to entertain.
Thank you so much, man. You have no idea. It really means a lot. Thank you so much, man. Because like I said, I got to take care of Paisley, and that dog food is about to run out pretty soon, and I do need to be able to get her, nails trimmed and her body washed to make sure I'm taking care of my pup. So it really is going to help so much. So thank you so much for coming through. Again, obviously I hope you had a good, obviously Laos New Year holiday and Happy New Year with that. And again, I appreciate you very much. Odin, to you as well. And that is it. What a WrestleMania night 1 and night 2. Appreciate you guys very, very much coming through and watching with the crew. You guys are the best. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatic, Odin and Reefer. Appreciate y'all. And I am out. Gang.